Well, what is happening, Transformers fans, movie fans alike? Welcome back to the channel. I am Dial, and this is another edition of my life. Today marks the end, the conclusion of Transformers Tuesday. Because today, the time has come. We are finally going to be talking about Transformers Rise of the Beasts. And joining with me today, once again, I have fellow YouTuber and Transformers connoisseur, Big B.
Hello, glad to be here. Glad to be here, and of course, glad to actually have another Transformers film to be happy to talk about.
Abso-freaking-lutely. To those of you who are new, we have already talked about all the theatrical releases of Transformers. We've talked about the original animated movie from 1986, The Transformers, the movie. And we talked about all 5 Michael Bay Transformers movies, the original one from 2007, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, Transformers Dark of the Moon, Transformers Age of Extinction, and Transformers The Last Night. And we talked about the spin-off Bumblebee. If you haven't seen our live streams for any of those movies, check out our channel. We have a playlist of all the Transformers movies. You can check that out. But let us not waste any more time. Let us get into Transformers Rise of the Beasts. And as always, we must remind the viewers out there, this is a spoiler-filled discussion. We're going to talk about this movie as if you've already seen it. So if you have not seen Transformers Rise of the Beast, and you don't want to know any details, you don't want to know any Easter eggs, you don't want to know any surprise appearances that may or may not be in this movie, go see it in the theater and come back and listen to this. If you don't want to know anything, we already think you should go see this. It is a theatrical experience for sure. You know, definitely Transformers brings the spectacle. But yeah, go watch this as always. So you have been warned. So it has been quite a journey going back and talking about all these Transformers films. It's been a rocky journey to say the least. There's was like 2, maybe 3 out of the 6 movies, 6 or 7 movies we talked about that were good.
Yeah,
you know, we really enjoyed the animated movie. We really enjoyed Bumblebee, and yeah, I mean, we have a soft spot for the first Michael Bay Transformers film. You know, and Big B, I think Dark of the Moon is a guilty pleasure for him.
yeah. It's one I look back on fondly. It's probably the last one I look back on fondly of the Bay ones, but yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, for the most part, those Transformers movies have really let us down many times. Michael Bay, I think we just come to the conclusion that Michael Bay was not the right person to helm this franchise and almost killed it. You know?
Oh yeah, I mean after we've had, now 2 directors who seem to at least, between the both of them, seem to at least have a grasp of the franchise in a positive way. Like, yeah, no, he just was not. No.
No. Now, of course, I will always give Michael Bay my respect to at least he helped bring Transformers into the mainstream, and it's and this goes without saying that the spectacle and the direction he did for those movies on an action and special effects standpoint, it's some groundbreaking stuff. So at least I'll give him that. But like, we really would want somebody to come into a Transformers franchise that actually loves the source material, that actually loves the lore. And that's what we start to get with Bumblebee. Travis Knight came in and did a really good Transformers film, and overall, it was just a good movie. Didn't feel like our intelligence was insulted. The human characters were really likable. It felt like they were leaning more towards the stuff that we liked from the original cartoon, as far as the aesthetics and like how the portrayals are of certain characters. Still took their liberties here and there, but for the most part, Travis Knight actually enjoys Transformers, actually likes Transformers. You felt that with Bumblebee. So honestly, I did not expect for them to instantly go back to doing a regular Transformers film. Part of me thought that they were going to bring Travis Knight back to do maybe a Bumblebee 2. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone thought. I think everyone thought that we were going to be in that same vein of things, or that maybe they would do another film called Optimus Prime or something like that. But
Which that would have been cool. I would love to
yeah,
see a standalone Optimus Prime movie. That'd be very cool. But yeah, they didn't really decide to do that. Honestly, I didn't really know what the direction was going to be for them, because at the time, it still was trying to figure out whether it wanted to be a prequel to the Michael Bay films or if it wants to be a reboot. We feel like it was leaning more towards the reboot stuff while still keeping some aesthetics for the Michael Bay films for some reason. But I was like, okay, well, we'll see how that goes. Bumblebee came out in 2018, right?
yes, that was 2018, a year after last night too. Oddly enough.
Yeah, that was very strange. So they already had it like ready to go after last
Yeah,
night. So cool. But yeah, now we're in 2023, and now we're just getting a continuation of the franchise. I think this is like the
5 years later. Yeah.
isn't this like the biggest gap in between movies?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we usually got them like every year or every other year, which may have acted to its detriment more than anything. But
True. So I'm more than happy with them taking their time, because this is the franchise that definitely needs to like take its time and make sure they get stuff right.
absolutely.
Bumblebee was a step in the right direction, but still, some more room for improvement. So it was a surprise to me that they didn't get Travis Knight to come back and do another one. Instead, they got Stephen Caple Jr. to help this franchise now. I am a fan of Stephen Caple Jr. I think he's a really solid director. The only movie I've seen him do was Creed 2, and I really enjoyed what he did with Creed 2. So I was happy that they trusted him enough to give him this big franchise. And from what I'm hearing, once again, same as Travis Knight, Stephen Caple Jr. is a fan of Transformers. So he made that very clear. He grew up watching it, and so once again, I'm happy they got somebody that actually cares about the source material for the most part. Now, not only were they going to do another regular Transformers movie again, but this time around they're going to introduce their version of Beast Wars into this movie.
Yeah. Which that was something that Transformers fans have talked about for a long time. Like, I think ever since Age of Extinction, ever since the name Age of Extinction was said, everyone thought, oh, we're going to get Beast Wars, we're going to get Optimus Primal. And there was all this concept art that was being leaked and everything all around the internet. So people really, really wanted Beast Wars in live action. I'm a Beast Wars fan as well, but I didn't realize how many other Beast Wars fans there were until stuff like that was happening. So, I mean, we kind of knew, or I guess the rumors started again when that Beast Wars characters would be making a live action appearance. So it's really cool to see that actually got followed through on.
Absolutely. Yeah, like you, like I didn't even realize how many Beast Wars fans there were. When they started hearing rumblings that, oh, they might be in the next movie, that's when I just started to see a whole bunch of people just talk about, oh, Beast Wars is awesome. Oh, Beast Wars, can't wait, man.
It's so weird because, like, up until then, Beast Wars, like, it was almost something that you were afraid to bring up in conversation if you were talking amongst Transformers fans. Not as afraid as, like, say, Kiss players or something like that, but it was something that you didn't really want to bring up because people thought of it as that dumb, weird 90s show, and it's like, well, it was actually really good, but, I'll just be in my corner, with my Optimus Primal toy or something.
Right. So I've said before that I've pretty much seen almost every iteration of Transformers from the shows, but I've never finished any of them. Rise of the Beasts. I'm sorry for you fans out there. I gotta be real with you. The Beast Wars was one of the Transformer shows that was a struggle for me to get through. I'm going to be very real.
That's fair. That's fair. It wasn't for everybody. A lot of people got hung up on the animation, and I can't blame them. I can't blame them. It was early 3D animation. I can't.
Yeah, that was one of the main issues that I had with that show. That just like the animation in that show was just so dated. Like it was really hard for me to wrap my head around the story, because like the story in it is not bad. It's pretty interesting, but just like I could not get over how bad that animation looks. And even when they tried to like update it with like with I don't know if it was like HD resolution like I see on the internet or like whatever home releases, like while it's an improvement, it still looks very wonky. So it was
Mhm.
I couldn't even get past a few
And
episodes.
I mean, I fully get that. A lot of people were the same way. At first, when I first saw Beast Wars, I was kind of the same way too. And it's something where you have to look past the animation. It is a show that, from the story alone, it honestly deserves to get like some sort of like remake, for a series where they just keep the same script and everything, and then just keep going. But
hmm Like, yeah, I really think if they actually took the time to remaster the show, even though that probably will cost a lot of money for them, but like
mhm.
I really think if they improve that animation somehow, I think the show would have had a fair chance, because I think for a lot of people that's what really turned them off to the show.
It
On top of the fact that it's very different from the G1 cartoon. It's so
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people were also hung up on like they're not cars and vehicles anymore; they're animals, and like I get that too. I get that too.
yeah.
Though something that was cool about this film, when they revealed that Beast Wars characters were going to be in it, you saw a bunch of people were going back and watching Beast Wars because they wanted to know who these characters were, which I'm happy about. And then you also had, granted, it wasn't the best series, but Transformers Kingdom, which was the
What is
Rooster
that?
Teeth. Yeah, it was the Rooster Teeth Netflix show. It was like their third season of the War for Cybertron trilogy. It
Oh,
was
I
not
forgot.
very good.
Okay, yeah, I
It was
forgot what
not
that
very
third one was
good,
called. Yeah,
but it
yeah.
had the Beast Wars characters in it, so people got to know them again. But
Yeah, yeah, man, that Cybertron trilogy on Netflix, man, I'm just like,
it was rough. It was
it was
rough.
rough,
I'm
man.
not
Like
gonna lie, it was rough.
just so dark and melodramatic for no reason,
And
and
everyone talked like this.
I'm like, Jesus Christ! And the voice they had for Optimus Prime, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I've been wanting a
Fair.
Cybertron
It's
thing,
fair.
but yeah,
It's
like I
fair.
really tried, but it felt like somebody was trying so hard to be Peter Cullen, and it's just like it felt like his balls didn't drop enough when he was
They
doing
they
it.
they didn't want to go union. They really didn't want to go union.
Which I guess,
But
but like, man, like I waited this long for them to do like a proper Cybertron show or movie, and that was like the closest we got up until this point. It's just like, man, okay. But anyway, so I was interested to see how they will incorporate Beast Wars for the modern era, because like obviously now they can update the designs and make them look cooler. Um,
yes.
I will give Beast Wars another try. Like I will try and sit down and watch the show and I'll try to overlook the animation and actually focus on the story, because like after watching this especially, it makes me want to go back and see the Beast Wars show. But yeah, I was still looking forward to seeing how they would incorporate them into the universe. Part of me was a little apprehensive because once again, I do similar worries that I had with Bumblebee, because they're trying to reboot the universe. And I already said, like, Bumblebee, while it's a good movie, I feel like it'll be kind of awkward if you're trying to introduce people into this new reboot of the universe. I feel like it will be kind of awkward if you first introduce them to Bumblebee. But now, the second installment of this rebooted Transformers universe, you're going to incorporate Beast Wars. And I'm like, I feel like that's something that they could have waited to do like a couple of movies down the line. I don't know if you introduce Beast Wars with the G1 stuff
It
at the
it
same
it
time.
yeah, it was like, so it's something that if it was the original continuity, it wouldn't make too much sense. But
Mhm.
because they kind of did their own thing, it made sense. But yeah, it was a little weird that it was like you're throwing Beast Wars in here and you're throwing Unicron, and like everyone thought that they were going to be doing like the original, I guess you could call it Generation 1 Beast Wars continuity, where they're the descendants of the Transformers that like traveled back in time, and blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, so like yeah, that's another thing. It wasn't going to be exactly like the show either, which I
hmm
not, didn't really expect that because these movies really take liberties with the stories from the shows. But
hmm
like, but yeah, like they're so doing that, and as you said, not only were they introducing Beast Wars, but you're gonna have the Terracons and Unicron. Like when they because when they had that first trailer, there was no indication that Unicron was going to be in there. So
Oh
it was
yeah,
really,
yeah, that was out of left. Like nobody expected that during the second trailer.
yeah.
Honestly, I kind of wish that they would have waited until the movie came out so that people saw that in theaters. But it's
Honestly,
fine. It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. They could have said that. That would have been like a big shock. Like
Yeah,
especially like how they start the movie. Not even a
hmm
minute in, they're like, "Here's Unicron." I'm like, what?
hmm like kind of speaking with the marketing of this thing. Like I was on board the second that I heard that Beast Wars was going to be in it.
Hmm.
And then I saw the first trailer and I was like, cool, my seat, day one, my seat, it's secured. I'm doing it. I'm there. That
Hmm.
second trailer, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute, what are you doing? Okay, I'm gonna go see this day one,
Hmm.
but this is a lot. And it was a lot.
Fair.
It was a
Yeah,
lot.
it was. Yeah, yeah. I would say, yeah. When I saw the first trailer, I was like, yeah, this looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. It a couple of the shots looked like it wasn't 100% finished, but like overall, it looked like a good time. And
Yeah,
like,
and it wasn't finished.
yeah,
It
right.
wasn't. It was very
I
early
was,
footage. And I remember everybody on social media was complaining about it like he looks horrible and everything. First off, he didn't look horrible. It did look unfinished, but it
yeah,
didn't look horrible. There was no
yeah.
need to bully him like we did with Sonic, all right? That's
Yeah,
different.
it is not that bad. It's not that bad. Like yeah, like the first trailer, it looked like they didn't finish rendering his mouth. So like
hmm
when they were opening up the faceplate, there was like, is his mouth in there? Like what's
hmm
going on? And then there was one shot, the opening shot with Optimus Primal splashing on the water, and he's splashing it on Noah and Elena,
hmm
and like the water splashed on them, but they didn't react like the water splashed on them. They were just standing
hmm
there like that. I'm like, whoa, that's kind of rough there. Like,
yeah, you could tell that it was early, but it was like,
yeah,
like that, like what I was saying then, and what I still say when I see like early shots of projects. It's like it's early. It's an early shot. We got
yeah,
like a
yeah,
year until this thing comes out. It's
right.
still baking. All right. It's
Good, good, good. I mean, at least it wasn't as embarrassing as the 2017 Mummy movie with Tom Cruise, where they accidentally released a
oh
trailer without without music.
oh no,
That was so embarrassing. Oh
man.
my.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there are certain times when it's like, you see a CGI shot of something and you're like, it's a little, but like,
They
times like
got
that,
time to fix it.
yeah, but like times like that, I got to sit there and think, okay, the movie comes out in like a year or like 6 months
Right.
or whatever the time frame is. They have time to clean this up. It's fine.
Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, regardless of that, other than those two like shots that look kind of unfinished, but for the most part, the first try I was like, yeah, okay, that looks pretty good. I think I might be convinced to see this opening weekend. But the second trailer, I was like, whoa, wait a second. What? Unicron? Oh my god. You know what? I gotta see his opening weekend. I
Yep,
got to like,
yep.
oh my god. I was freaking out when they were just like casually saying Unicron is coming. I'm like,
Well,
ah,
the second they showed that they were making him his own planet this time, I was
yes.
like, okay, I'm there. I'm there. I'm there.
Literally, he looked straight out of the cartoon. I was like,
Yes.
"Oh my god, that's it! That's
Yes,
it!
yes. I was like, that's what we wanted. All right, Michael Bay, you taking notes? That's what we
That's what
wanted.
we're doing." And that instantly showed me that the stuff that we were concerned that it was possibly trying to be still in the continuity, but not really. That was the big F you to Michael Bay being like, no, we're not continuing
I'm,
off of that. We're
yeah.
redoing this.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I was contributing a bit to toxicity there. The second that I saw that second trailer, I was taking that screenshot of Unicron, putting it in like Michael Bay forms, and going cope.
Bruh, that's funny. That's funny. I know we don't do that type of stuff on social media, but I'm like that. Yeah, cope. That's 100% cope right there. Like, oh, you still think it's part of the Mayverse? You still think it is? But
yeah, I mean, it was funny too because like a lot of the Hasbro executives were sitting there saying, "Oh, we're still protecting the timeline of the Bay universe." I'm like, how?
There's
This
no
makes no
way.
sense. First off, they're there in the 90s. And second off, Unicron's his own planet. How did he get in the Earth? That's
Did he clone? Did they clone the planet and then it just turned into?
it's like, yeah, like if this is still part of the Bayverse, then continuity is dead. I'm sorry. It's
dead. It's gone. It's gone. But yeah, I was there opening weekend after that second trailer. Even though, as I said, while it's exciting to see all this stuff in here, I was very apprehensive because there's so much stuff they're putting in this movie. Will they be able to juggle all of this stuff into one film? And on top of the fact, this is another Transformers movie that's 2 hours long.
And and it's also not even that. On top of the fact that now this is a cinematic universe. It's not just this.
Yeah, like they're literally they're trying to make us a shared universe with certain things, which we'll definitely talk about in this. But yeah, like, while I appreciated in Bumblebee that they were able to tell a story in under 2 hours, because like, man, the Michael Bay films were so long and so bloated for no reason. So I appreciate them doing that. But this time around, I'm like, are you going to be able to juggle all this stuff in 2 hours? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the animated movie did juggle a lot of stuff in an hour and a half, so I'm like, maybe it could be a similar thing with that, even though I know pacing is different with animation than it is with live action, but even so, like, I don't know. But I had faith in Stephen Gable Jr. I believed he will do his best to make a good movie. He's a fan of the property, so I was happy about that. And then also seeing that Anthony Ramos was going to be in this, I was like, I'm a fan of him. I enjoyed him in like Hamilton and In the Heights, so I was excited to see what he was doing. Even though you know how I feel about humans being the main focus of a Transformers movie, so I'm like, I'm hoping they don't do that again. But at least Anthony Ramos is a good actor, and I'll be at least enjoy him on that level.
Yeah, I mean, plus it felt like this film, it was half and half. Like you had a balance of humans and Transformers, and though there were like pacing issues, which I'm sure we'll talk about. It felt like they did good. I'm waiting for an extended cut of the movie, but I think they did good.
Oh my god, yeah, I actually heard that around. I'm like, is there an extended cut that Stephen Cable has like in the vault somewhere, like that he may or may not release? Yeah, if the extended cut is more human stuff, then no.
Then keep that away. But I feel like there's more Transformers stuff you're not showing us, and I want to see it. But
for sure. Now, there were two things though I was very worried about though. One of them was Pete Davidson voicing Mirage. I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute, wait. Pete. Why is Pete Davidson voicing a Transformer? I'm not a Pete Davidson fan at all.
That's fair.
I don't care for him as an actor. I don't think he's that funny. I don't know why girls like him so much. Maybe it's just me being salty, but like, I just don't enjoy him as an actor, as a comedian. He has that dry sense of wit that's really like hit or miss for me. And then the second thing, hearing that Wheeljack is going to be in this movie, and we saw his design, and I was like, "What the heck is
this?" After seeing the movie, that's Pablo. That's Pablo. That ain't Wheeljack. That's Pablo. Wheeljack died on Cybertron. All right. That's
I'm like, what the heck? Like
that's an imposter.
You got it right the first time. What?
I know. You had a movie where it was perfect. It was perfect. And like going into the movie, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a chance. Gonna give it a
Yeah,
chance. The
we'll see.
design's a little weird, but they have the little ears on the battle mask. Okay, it's
Yeah, we saw them
gonna get
put that
good.
in the
Yeah,
second trailer,
yeah,
so I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
okay,
Gonna give it a
maybe.
chance. The second he started talking, I was like, nah, that's Pablo. That's.
Yeah, man. I was like, what the heck? But anyway, I saw this movie twice. First for the hype, and then two to absorb the story and how the direction is. So got a good the movie's pretty much fresh in my mind. Um, so overall, I enjoyed this movie. I had a good time watching this. It was a lot of fun. Um, Once again, it's another step in the right direction for the franchise. If you're asking me how does this compare to the other Transformers movies, it's definitely top three, including the animated movie. It's definitely top three. I guess I'm so conflicted because, like, while I'm saying this is top three, does that really say a lot? Because the majority of them was not good. Because it's like, it's the animated movie Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast here, and then oh, okay, you know what? And then the first Transformers movie is like right there, and then everything else is at the bottom. So I'm like,
Yeah,
so I'm like,
yeah.
did I say a lot? So like, but I would say as far as the live action stuff, I had the most fun with this movie compared to all the other ones. Like, I think I had a little more fun with this than Bumblebee. So technically, I think this might be my favorite live action Transformers film. But at the same time, I acknowledge that from a pacing standpoint and from the story standpoint, I can't say it's quite as focused and coherent as Bumblebee because the story of Bumblebee was very simple and easy to follow. Like, not that I was confused in this movie. Like, for the most part, I was able to follow everything, but like, I didn't feel, as I said, I didn't feel like this movie was quite as focused story wise as Bumblebee. So I'm like, technically, I would say Bumblebee is a better film, but I had the most fun in this movie. And as far as stuff that I want to see from the original show and the source material, this gave me the most of what I wanted to see, so far in a Transformers film. But once again, it still has those issues that that we saw from the Michael Bay films, at least in my opinion. Like, it still doesn't feel like the Transformers are the main characters of their movie. Now, the humans in here, once again, they're not bad. I enjoyed the human characters.
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah.
a similar thing with Haley Steinfeld. I think they they improved a lot when it comes to the human stuff. But I felt like the time that we're spending with the humans could have been time to develop the Transformers, specifically the Maximals, because the Maximals in this, I really,
Oh yeah.
really like them. I really like them a lot, but I didn't think we had enough time developing them as characters.
Yeah, we see them. We see them at the beginning of the movie, and then we see them like towards the end of the second act of the movie, and they're like, "Oh man, we had all this stuff happen to us on Earth. Now there's only like four of us." And it's like, well, what happened? What?
Yeah, like that could have been like you could have gone into that more, like with
Mhm.
like well, like yeah, the stuff with Anthony Ramos and his little brother, like that stuff that's nice, but like that's not necessary to the story, you
Yeah, like
know?
if the extended cut has more maximal stuff explaining like what happened to people like say Rat Trap or Tigatron or something like that, add that in. I need to see that. But
Absolutely. Yeah, you give a little more context of like the huge like gap between the prologue of the movie and when we see them in 1994. But another reason why I'm like conflicted is like this movie is trying to be a lot of things. It's trying to mix a whole bunch of different tones and styles in one movie. Like, on one
Mm,
hand, it's trying to be a continuation of Bumblebee, and then on the other hand, it's still trying to keep the influences and like the some aesthetics and set pieces that are they're trying to still keep that Michael Bay essence in there. So it's trying to be a continuation of Bumblebee. It's trying to be still feel like a Michael Bay film in certain moments, and then it's also trying to um have the tone of the original cartoons. Both the
Hmm.
G1 Transformers show and the Beast Wars show. It's trying to mix all those things together in this movie, and like a lot of it worked, but then a lot of it felt kind of awkward. Yeah, yeah, no, because it feels like a bunch of tones and styles they're trying to mix in one movie. They're trying to please many different Transformers fans in this. So it's like I commend them. I commend Stephen Cable Jr. for trying to do that, but like I didn't think he needed to like mix all those things together. Like stick with one type of
Yeah,
thing and go with it. And you can tell that this movie was made by more than two writers. It felt like this was a movie made by five writers.
yeah. I'll agree with that because it did feel like a lot of the human stuff was like wrote by one person, and then like the Transformer stuff was like someone else. Then maybe the Maximal stuff was like its own other movie, and it was like. Well, I liked it. It
Yeah,
had moments where it all gelled well together, but it did feel different.
yeah. It's like it felt like there was like four different movies going on.
Hmm.
you know, um, but yeah, in general, I thought it was a good time. It's one of the better Transformers movies. Step in the right direction, but yeah, I didn't think it was perfect. It still had some stuff to work out. But those are my long-winded thoughts on Transformers: Rise of the Beast. Let's go to you, Big B. Overall, what did you think about this movie?
I really liked it. It's probably my third favorite film in general, but second favorite live action film. Because I mean, for me, it's probably Bumblebee animated, Rise of the Beast, '07, Dark of the Moon, everything else. But
Mhm.
and a lot of the issues that I had were with the pacing, because like even when we left the first showing, like, I think the first thing I said to you is like the pacing felt a little off, and like
Yeah,
that's why I'm sitting here thinking like maybe there's an extended cut that maybe like expands on some things, makes some things feel not as rushed, because it felt like by the time they were like solving things in Peru, I'm sitting here like whoa, 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 whoa. There was like an hour of stuff that you probably could have put there that could have filled things in.
right.
I mean,
Yeah,
like it's fine. We're here now, but like I feel like we could have explained a little better how we got here, or maybe like built up bonds between characters a little bit more, to where Optimus feels a little more trusting of the humans, But
hmm, yeah,
that, besides that, I think that there may have been like probably like two different character mishaps there, right? So like Mirage, I think should have been Hot Rod. Pete Davidson, while I'm not the biggest fan of him, I'm not really much of a fan of him at all, but
hmm,
I think he did well in this role. I think he did really well in this role. I think it should have been Hot Rod. I think that should have been Hot Rod because the personality fits perfectly for him.
yep,
Um, Wheeljack, I don't think he should have been Wheeljack. I would have taken maybe if he was like Perceptor, or there's another Autobot named Rung who's also kind of like the more sciencey type. You could have had I don't know. A lot of people were saying he should have been Skids, which in a lot of other Transformers continuities that would totally make sense for him to be Skids. Um, I mean, besides that, yeah, the human stuff, I feel like there could have been less of it. It did feel like, and I'm sure we'll get into it, it felt like Elena was like, for lack of a better term, an arc narrator. It felt like, because like there's even a point in the movie where they're having like this very short discussion. Like Noah's talking about, oh, we need to like destroy this thing that we're looking for because we need to protect our home and everything. The Transformers don't get us and anything. And Elena's just like, well, the way I see it, Optimus is like a big brother protecting all of his people, just like how you're a big brother protecting your brother. And I'm like, that felt like the most arc narratory forced character development I've ever heard. But you know what? The rest of the movie's fine, so I'll let it slide. But wow, you really just did that, did you?
That's why I'm saying, like, this is stuff that I remember watching in the Saturday morning cartoon, because they would have
Mhm,
dialogue like that where
mhm,
they're literally explaining, this is how this person's
mhm.
feeling and this is how it should feel like.
Like besides the little soundtrack stings at the end and like Optimus being slightly kill happy, that was like the main thing that I saw that it was like, oh, that's Bayverse right there because even in like what was it, Age of Extinction, you had the one lady that was there, I forget her name, but she was basically narrating the I can never remember these people's names. The guy who was like in charge of the whole Transformium project.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like she was like narrating his whole arc, like basically like, oh, I don't know if you should do this. Hey, you know what? You're making a very good decision. And it's like I feel like her character could have been used a little bit better, and even with the human stuff, just kind of closing up my initial long-winded thoughts on it. I feel like their traits could have been used a little more. Noah, I feel like, was well utilized. He's got his military background and everything. He was coming up with plans. He was very useful in the field. Elena, while she was very good at, the whole archaeology side of things and understanding ancient civilizations, I feel like they could have gone further with that. Like, I feel like that was only used, like it was used sparingly compared to what they did with Noah. So that's just my opinion on that. I know other people probably feel differently. They probably feel like, she was very well utilized just as well as Noah, but I feel like she could have gotten a little more there to further develop her character and further develop her whole personality traits there and character traits. But
Yeah, like it's weird because, like, I feel like Elena is more important to the story because she's the one that helps get the transport key to
yes,
transform or whatever, or discovers it.
yeah, like she is the tie between the humans and the Transformers. She's the one that's understanding their culture, their language, the main one that's saying we need to work together. Like,
Hmm.
as far as the humans go anyways. Air Razor was like the main one from the Cybertronian side of things, but
Right.
yeah, no, she did feel like she was supposed to be more important, but
Right. But yeah, I agree with you though. Noah, while Elena feels like she's more important to the story, Noah feels better utilized in the story. So it's like, as you said, like he helps comes up with some of the tactics, and he helps them infiltrate certain stuff, and like, so he feels like more, I guess, competent as far as like what they're doing. But yeah, man. Well, while we're already talking about it, I guess we can get the humans out the way because we're already
yeah,
talking about
yeah.
it. But yeah, as we said, like, I enjoyed Anthony Ramos, and shoot, what is her name? I think it's
I
Dominic something. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up
yeah,
right
yeah, yeah,
now.
yeah. Right. Her name. Yep. Dominique Fishback.
Yeah, Dominique Fishback. So Anthony Ramos said Dominique Fishback. I thought both of them were really good. I really enjoyed them. Um, like I said, the stuff with Noah, like, seeing that, I like the Brooklyn influences in here. I did really like it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's something that Stephen Campbell Jr. was talking about a lot with when he was talking about this movie, that we're going to see a heavy influence on, Brooklyn, New York, and stuff like that. And you definitely saw that. The soundtrack in this is awesome. Like, you just hear all the hip hop hits from the 90s, Wu-Tang
Yeah,
Clan, LL Cool J, DMX. Like,
yeah.
I
That was yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that was great. There was one moment in the film, which I'm sure we'll get to, where they threw in a '90s hip hop hit, and I was like, okay, you know what? We'll let you have your hero moment. Okay, but
Um, I'm wondering if we're thinking about the same thing. I
Mama said knock you out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was like, is that what is she talking about the mommy scene? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, for
yeah,
sure. Like you
yeah.
did feel like Cable was getting his James Gunn on and like putting on
Mhm,
these pop songs and these
mhm.
like important set pieces and stuff like that. Which, yeah, for the most part, I thought it worked. Like there's a couple moments where I did find myself bopping my head a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah,
So
yeah.
really,
Most of
really
the movie, I'm sitting there like, okay, are we watching a movie or is this like a group listening? Like,
yeah, right, right, right. Um, but yeah, I definitely like the Brooklyn influences in that. But yeah, as I said, the stuff with Noah and his mother and his little brother that's sick, that stuff was nice.
yeah,
I'm not gonna brag on it and like at all. Like as
yeah.
far as like how it's how we see it play out in the story. And like I did find myself caring about his little brother and like their situation and Noah trying to get a job and stuff like that. Like they did say he was he an ex-military guy? I
He was
think
an
that
ex-military that
yeah.
yeah, was kind of like one of the, his mind was more on his family than on the field. And speaking of of Anthony's character, I really like how they got him to be introduced to the Transformers. That felt very organic for like his character. Like I was
Right, right.
really concerned if it was going to be more of a forced thing. Because like I'll praise the 2007 movie a bunch, but
Hmm.
it did kind of feel weird and slightly forced with how they got Sam introduced to the Transformers, because he's like, "Oh, my car's going away. I'm gonna instead of calling the police and waiting for them to deal with it, I'm gonna go after it.
Well,
I'm
he
gonna."
did call the police, but they weren't coming fast enough, so he
Well,
was like,
yeah, yeah. So he was like, "I'm gonna go after it," and then
so yeah, yeah, yeah. So this one did feel a bit more organic. Like it was like, even though people would be like, "Oh, such a coincidence that that Noah just so happened to steal cars in the same
yeah,
location that
yeah.
Mirage was." So
The other thing that I was wondering too was like they were going after rich people's cars, and like like their target was Mirage, and I'm like, who owns Mirage? What like who's the human that's working with Mirage, man? What?
yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
How did Mirage get into that garage with the
yeah,
other cars? I wonder how
yeah,
that worked out. And like nobody looked at the car and like, have we seen this car before? Like
yeah, yeah. Like I'm wondering who drove that car up there to where they're like, oh yeah, this belongs to a rich person. Like,
hmm.
who's this mystery human character that we don't see in the movie? What's up with that?
They're like, don't think too hard about it. Don't think too
Yeah,
hard.
yeah, that was Spike. That was Spike. They didn't
That
want
was
us to see
Spike.
Spike.
You know what? You know what? I wouldn't put it past them after
Yeah,
the surprise reveal we've seen towards
yeah,
the
yeah.
end. We'll talk.
Right, right.
So
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't
There
be
should have been a
shocked.
post-credit scene. That should have been a post-credit scene of some rich guy going into the into the parking garage. Like, where's my car?
Like, Spike, is everything okay? And everyone
Yeah,
freaks out.
yeah,
Oh, Spike! It's
yeah.
Spike!
Right, right, right.
but yeah, I did enjoy them, and yeah, I liked her too. She's a very very eccentric in this movie.
Yes.
Like, she has a lot of ADHD energy. Um, like all about artifacts and stuff like that. Being a nerd,
Yeah,
so I was like,
yeah. Not like a damsel in distress either, too, because you had
yeah,
like the whole scene where she thinks Noah's a thief and just straight just backhands him. It's like,
backhands him right in the face.
yeah,
I'm like, dang.
yeah, yeah. And then
And
like
then
I said,
when they're trying to escape from the Terracons too, like
yes.
she was just like, "Yep, I'm out. Like, here's
Yep,
the
yep,
silver door.
yep,
I'm
yep.
out."
And speaking of that scene, they show a character trait for her that I kind of wish they would have shown more, maybe in the final fight, because you only see it twice. Where when she gets nervous, she starts singing. I
Yeah,
liked that. I liked that actually. That was
I like
nice.
that. I like that. Yeah, like giving her a little bit more personality. So like, I definitely appreciated that. Well, I wish. I don't know. While I did say like they still could cut down a lot of the human stuff, probably wishes that we got to know Elena a little bit more personally,
I
like we did
know.
with
I
Noah.
know.
You know?
Like as weird And I mean, it's probably not weird considering how much I like Transformers, but it's kind of weird that after seeing a live action Transformers film, like, I wish it was longer. I wish it was a lot longer.
Yeah, I think that was something we also talked about in Bumblebee. Like, while we appreciate they were able to tell the story in a short period of time, like it was like we wouldn't have mind for it to actually be a little bit
Yeah,
longer
yeah,
for once.
yeah. But the
You know?
difference is with this, it's like I'm sitting here like I feel like I would have, I feel like the story almost kind of needed more time to like,
Mm,
fully tell itself and fully feel satisfying. Which, granted, it's the start of like a new lineup of Transformers films. It's not supposed to be completely satisfying. You're supposed to have questions, but
right, and at least they did have a resolution in here. Like they didn't
yes,
leave us like open ended for no reason. You know.
yes, yes,
But yeah, I definitely I do agree with you that like it did feel like they had to cut this down to 2 hours, like, because once again they're trying to get the trust of the audience again. So it's
yeah,
like, and they also
yeah.
didn't know how well this would be at the box office, because Bumblebee did okay, so I guess they were expecting, like, okay, we're not expecting this to make a whole bunch of money, so it's
I
like, let's
mean,
play it
yeah.
safe real quick.
To be honest, they probably still aren't because did you hear that? Like, I think in like a few weeks, it's supposed to be releasing digital already.
I didn't hear that
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like they already said, like they already revealed the cover art for the Blu-rays and everything, and they already showed that it's supposed to be coming out on digital like in a couple or like 3 weeks or something like that. And like, oh no, 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 wait, 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 let it get more money at the box office. Wait, we like this. We actually like this.
For the most part, because
Yeah.
if you saw the Rotten Tomatoes, it's a 57% right now, but the audience
Yeah.
score is at 90 though. So
Well, yeah, yeah, that's the thing. It's the critic score. The critic score was low. And to be fair, the critic score has been low for a good amount of well-received films lately. But like,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
no,
kind of
it's
weird.
yeah, but like with the audience score, it's like sitting up a lot higher, and like everyone's going to go see this movie still, and they're like, yeah, it's gonna be releasing on digital like by the end of the month. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, they were like so scared. It was like,
They
okay, let's
they
just.
probably were. I'm willing to bet they were probably sitting there like, man, we should make this like a straight to Blu-ray. No one's gonna come see this, and
So yeah, and then it also surprised me though, because like the first movie wasn't it just like it had like $100 million, whatever the budget of it.
something, yeah, yeah,
And then
something
this
like
movie
that.
didn't it go up to $200 million? I'm like, why are you giving it $200 million? Wait a minute, you're still trying to get the audience back. Like, I would
Yeah,
not.
wow, yeah, no, it's up. Yeah, the budget was 200 million.
I'm like, okay, look, Bumblebee was a good movie, and you were able to do it with just with the lower budget. I would have had them stick with $100 million for a couple more movies. Like, I wouldn't have instantly been like, "Yeah, we're gonna give you $200 million again." I'm like,
Hmm.
"Whoa, no, we still
Hmm.
gotta,
I
we still gotta
mean,
build this franchise up again."
that's yeah. I agree though. I think they did make a very good use of that $200 million. The effects in this movie, the Transformers looked amazing.
You're
I
right.
I still am on the side of I prefer the Bumblebee movie design for Optimus over the Rise of the Beast design,
I agree.
but it was still really good. It was still really
Still
good.
really good. Yeah, the worries that I had about a couple of the shots looking unfinished, they polished it in this movie. You could tell all the money was on screen, and I was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, thank
Hmm.
God!" And like, I'm really impressed with how well Stephen Caple Jr. did with the special effects and the action set pieces. Like, he does a really good job
Oh yeah,
with these action scenes.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. There was no like unnecessary explosions or anything. Everything looked great. The shots were easy to understand.
mm-hmm,
Like that was something I was concerned about when it came to like these more grand adventures. I was concerned that we were gonna see more of that Michael Bay influence. We would probably see like more of like the shaky cam or something, or a lot more unnecessary explosions, or maybe the
mm-hmm.
CGI models would not look as good. Because I'm not gonna lie, saw some of the Terracon designs and I was like, but it
Yeah.
was yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it all ended up working really, really well. However, I will slightly disagree with you. Like, I still felt some mayhem isms here and there.
There,
It
there
was
was there was some. There was some. I'll agree.
like I did hear like in an interview when Cable was talking about the movie, he did say he went to Michael Bay to get some advice on how to direct the
Mhm.
action scenes. So I'm like,
And
oh,
it,
I
it,
can
it
see
was it was, as you see in the credits, it was a Bay Films production.
yeah, you did
But
say produced by Michael Bay, and I'm like,
yes.
okay, well, all right. But like, I did feel like in this movie though, like while I did feel some influences from Michael Bay, it didn't 100% feel like Michael Bay. It felt like he was mixing the good stuff from Bumblebee and the
Yes.
good stuff from Michael Bay. He put it together and like it's really really good because like the final like big battle like reminded me of like a
Man.
climax. Like that was such
Yeah.
a massive
Yeah.
climax, man. And just
Yeah.
like
Yeah. It was, and you even saw like, I would say, a slight reuse of like one of the early Bay designs, because you saw like a scorpion looking creature, and I was like, is that Scorponok? Like,
that's what I was wondering
yeah.
too, because like yeah, I saw like the scorpion stuff like that, and then we saw some like early toy designs of it, and like that's literally it. I was like, is that Scorponok? Like,
Mhm.
is there more? Is there a Scorponok? A Scorponok army in the original cartoon? Was that a
I
thing?
mean, there wasn't. There was just one big dude who turned into a city, but I mean, that was, you
Fair enough.
know.
It was also strange that like Unicron was the one like unleashing that army of scorpions. I was like,
Right, right,
that's
right.
very
Which,
interesting.
that was another thing I know we were worried about going into this film. Like, is Unicron gonna make it to Earth? And like, he didn't. He didn't, but like they're clearly setting him up as like the big bad of this cinematic universe. Like, he is Hasbro's Thanos. That is their Thanos.
Right, right. That was one thing I was
Or
concerned
or
about.
rather their Galactus. That is their
They're
Galactus. But
Galactus. Right, right,
yeah.
right, right, right. Yes. That was one thing I was concerned about. When, even though I was excited, that was one thing I was concerned about because I was like, "Wait, Unicron? Like, wait.
Right.
So Unicron is going to actually make it to Earth? Is that what's going to happen? Like, no.
Right. Because if you, especially because one thing I was concerned about, because we knew going into this that this was going to be like the start or the second film in like probably a long going franchise,
Mhm.
and the concern there is, if you kill Unicron in this film, where do you go from there?
Where do you go from there? Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
starting. That's like starting a rebooted franchise with is a rebooted X-Men franchise with Apocalypse, and then
Yeah.
killing them in that movie. Oh wait, they already did that.
Right. Yeah. Because like I was sitting here thinking, like, if you kill Unicron here, you can't just go to the next film and be like, "Oh, Megatron's the big bad." It's like that. No, that guy pales in comparison to Unicron. You can't
Ex-
just be like, like
exactly.
if you beat Unicron, Megatron should just be a one punch battle. That's it. But
Yeah. So I'm glad. Like, pretty much Unicron is like he has a presence, but like he's setting up for a bigger story later down the
Mhm.
line. So I appreciate how they did that, and like the whole thing of like he's trying to get to Earth through the using the transwarp key
Yes,
to create a portal for him to get to Earth. So I'm like,
yeah,
oh, that makes sense.
yeah. Like he's light years away, so it's like, okay, we've got time. We can have multiple films.
Hmm.
So
And
okay.
and I'm also glad that they did not tease his robot form in this movie. I'm so glad.
They showed you the eyes.
That's
That's
it.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. And I was like, that's perfect. That's great. That's great. You
Yes.
see the eyes and like part of the mouth, and I'm like, cool. Don't show me it yet. Don't show
Right.
me it. Show me in like 10 years when
10
you get
years.
to like when you get to like the last film in this franchise. Show me
Yes.
then. Don't show me now.
Yes. And they name drop Primus, so I'm like, I
Yeah,
hope we
yeah.
better see Primus.
Man, if they do a film where it's like you got Cybertron fighting that
Primus versus Unicron, like I will literally explode in my seat. Like I can't.
yeah, that'll be it. You play like You Got the Touch, maybe have like the Matrix, you going from the inside out on Unicron or something. Okay, best movie then.
Best
Best
movie.
movie.
Oh my
But
god, that'd be so awesome. But I'm just so happy that they got Unicron right in this. Like
yes.
he looks exactly like how he looks from the cartoon. I just enough, none of that. Oh, Unicron is the Earth BS that we
Mm-hmm.
didn't build up at all. Like,
Mm-hmm.
man, I'm so happy. Like, he looks great. He looks awesome.
Mm-hmm. Also, I like that because every Bay film, and this is something that they did carry from the Bay films, but every Bay film had an artifact that they were going after, and it was going to save the day or destroy the world or whatever.
Mhm.
And they're racing the whole time to get it. I like how they handled it in this one though. It
Yeah.
it felt it felt better. You didn't go retconning like, oh, they've been on Earth for much longer than we originally thought. It was, oh, it came from another planet, and then these people have been guarding it. So they're like, now it's here. It's divided up. And it's not even necessarily something that will doom the Earth. It's more like, oh, this just means that Unicron's going to have a way to like transport around to do different things or something. Or in the case of the Autobots, it's a way for us to get home. And it's like, okay, that's cool. I like how they handled it here.
Is that how the transport key was used in the original cartoon?
I don't even think there was a transwarp key. There was a space bridge, so I mean that concept
Okay.
was definitely used, but I don't think there was a transwarp key. The only thing that like came to mind when I saw transwarp key was Transformers Cybertron, which was a part of the Unicron trilogy. There was a thing called the Cyber Planet keys, and
Okay.
those kind of did something kind of similar. So I think that's where they got that influence from. So
Okay. Cool. 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 Um. Okay. One other thing I wanted to ask: how did you feel about Unicron's voice?
I liked it. I would have preferred a more Orson Welles direction with the voice, because to me, Orson Welles will always be Unicron, even though Orson Welles himself didn't really care about that role.
Right?
And
And like he was really really old when he voiced
yeah,
Unicron too.
yeah, and like like in reality for the recording, it was more of a whispered voice. I liked the presence that voice had. I liked the like booming, sound it had. I liked how every time he talked, you heard the wind bellowing, behind him, because like that, like his voice alone was strong enough to just blow people away. So
Hmm.
I liked those aspects, and I kind of wish they would have done something similar to that with this voice. But I liked it. I think it fit. I think it still had a commanding presence. It still, was like a ominous big planetary being. But you know,
Yeah, like I agree with you. Like it still had a presence. Like it still had an intimidating like tone to it for the most part. But like at the same time, it felt so similar to Scourge's voice. Like it
yes, it
sounded like
did.
a more bombastic
That
version of Scourge.
that is another complaint I kind of have, is that some of the villains like Nightbird, I think, was the exception, and Battletrap too, because he only had like maybe one or two lines. But a lot of the villains that had more lines, like they felt a little too evil, if that makes sense. Like
They
like
just
they
sounded too like mustache
yeah,
twirling sinister.
well, not even just that. Like like Scourge throughout this film.
Yeah.
It's mainly like sinister, ominous one-liners from him. Like he's like, "Oh, you can't hide from me, my prey.
Hmm.
Go hunt them down, rend their flesh from their bodies, and bring me the key." It's like,
Hmm.
which
Yeah.
like the lines themselves, I didn't really have too much of a problem with. I don't know. It's hard to put in words what exactly my problem was with Scourge specifically, but
Like once again, like there are influences in here that felt like I was watching the cartoon. That like his dialogue, like in dialogue of other characters too, Lily felt like stuff that like they copied how they talked in the cartoon and was like,
Mhm,
let's put these over the top lines in
mhm,
for these
mhm.
characters too.
That being said, Optimus Prime got the coolest one-liners I've ever heard in this movie.
Yeah, that's true. Like
Yeah,
I
like
do
his
like
whole like, I'm going to take his key and then his head.
and
It's like,
then his
okay,
head. I was like,
yeah,
ooh, well, actually, okay, yeah, that was a cool line. I'm not gonna lie, but like
yeah,
that, and that was the stuff that kind of felt like a little bit of
yeah.
mayhem
There's a
right
little bit
there.
of Bay right
'Cause, like
there. I mean,
I started
yeah.
getting hot flashes of "Give me your face." I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Well,
no,
I mean,
no, I don't want to see that.
you also had that in the final battle where like Primal smashes the dude's head in, and Optimus is like, that was mine.
That was mine.
Yeah, which like, okay, there's a little bit of Bay there, but it's also supposed to be comedic. I like it. They did give
Yeah.
him some funny moments here, which that was, I like.
Yeah, like that. Like it wasn't distasteful when they were doing that. So, which is what I appreciated. Like Capo was able to hone the influences from Michael Bay and like able to mix it good with the Bumblebee's influences and the cartoon influence. As I said, this definitely goes back to what I was saying. It feels like it's trying to mix a whole bunch of different styles and tones from different.
It's trying to be the best of both worlds, and I appreciate it for that. But
yeah, definitely.
In some places it falls short, but
yeah, right. Go back to Unicron's voice real quick. There was what like I said, I didn't mind his voice. I thought it was pretty good. There was like one word, a couple words that he said where I heard a little bit of the original Unicron voice when he was going deep for a little bit. I was like, okay, but other than that, yeah, it was
yeah. And side note with Unicron, I noticed it when I like saw another clip of it on like another on social media. They used a leitmotif from the original Unicron theme for him.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that the initial time watching it, and like that I really appreciate that actually. That hits me where I live. That's
yeah, see, yep. Like I like those little touches right there. It's like little nods to the audience. Speaking of that, did you when they destroyed the portal?
Yes.
You heard exactly that Autobot theme from the Michael Bay films?
I heard Arrival to Earth, and I was like, okay. You know what? I like that. Steve Jablonsky did nothing wrong. I like that. I like the homage to his score. I like that.
That's true. Yeah. I thought. At first I was upset at it because I was like, no, stop being like Michael Bay.
You're right. I would have been like, no. You're overstaying your welcome if they ended it with a Linkin Park song. But
oh yeah, right. No, like no. But second time watching, I was like, you know what? Steve Jablonsky's score was so cool though. So
it was. I was just listening to Arrival to Earth on the way back from work, and his music was really good. It was really good.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, let us get more in detail with the Transformers. Let's start with the Autobots. We already started talking about him. Optimus Prime. Really liked him in this. However, angst, so much angst.
Oh, there was so much. He was the my friends don't understand me.
My fault that everyone's here.
It's my fault. I'm the one who did it.
We cannot trust these humans.
Also very racist. very racist. Just him sitting there like, you trust humans? I had to like sit there and like raise an eyebrow at Optimus when he was like, we can only trust our own kind. I'm like, what the?
Like,
Optimus?
Is that you?
Yeah. I was like, you about to like don a white hood or something, man? Like, what's up, dog?
Oh my god. But yeah, you're not wrong though. Like, I think it goes back to what you were saying, that it feels like there's some story with Optimus that's there that got cut out that would have gave more context to why Optimus is acting this way.
Yeah, like I'm sitting here like it's been 10 years since Bumblebee happened. What's and they acknowledge Bumblebee as well. They acknowledge that movie.
They acknowledge it, yeah.
But like, yeah, I'm like, it's been 10 years since then. What's got you like this, Optimus? And like, there was even like the implication that he was gonna do something to Noah because he like sets him up on that thing. He's like, I'm gonna deal with your mistake later.
I'm like, Jesus,
what do you mean by that?
All right, man.
You ain't gonna kill him, are you?
Oh no! Once again, hot flashes of Michael Bay. I'm like,
I know.
Please no.
And you could definitely hear, because that was something we talked about when we were talking about Bumblebee. You could definitely hear the age in Peter Cullen's voice.
I was gonna bring it up. I was like, I was hoping it wouldn't bother me. I was trying to ignore it. It was a lot better the second time watching it, but even still, I was like, he sounds like he's 80 years old. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah. I could hear his voice like give out a couple times where it was like it sounded a little too raspy, and I was like, whoa, Peter, you okay?
Like calling
Yeah,
all Autobots. I'm
yeah.
like,
Like he was
oh
like we
no.
have to we have to get the kid. And I'm like, well, Mr. Cullen, you good, man?
You okay,
I'm
man? You
scared.
good?
I'm scared, man.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my goodness. But once again, like I respect Peter Cullen for wanting to voice Optimus Prime like
Yes.
forever, but like there gotta come a point where it's like I think you need to be a retirement like and soon.
Yeah. And I mean,
Soon.
granted, he is because the director of the new animated film Transformers One did come out and say this. Even though Chris Hemsworth is going to be voicing Orion Pax towards the middle or end of the movie when he becomes Optimus Prime, as he said, that is when Peter Cullen's going to take over. So Peter Cullen is going to voice Optimus in that animated movie, which I'm a little bummed out about. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Peter Cullen all the way. He is Optimus Prime to me. He is my Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and so is, the voice actor who played him. I don't know why the name is escaping me, but the voice actor who played him through the Unicron trilogy, as well as like
I have no idea.
Yeah. I any other time I could name him off the top of my head, but I kind of wish that we could just allow Chris Hemsworth to take a shot at that, to see how his voice for Orion Pax differentiates into Optimus, because that tells me now that Chris Hemsworth isn't going to be going for an Optimus Prime voice. He's going to be going for a younger Orion Pax voice, which is a little disappointing. Because I feel like listening to him as Thor, he has a solid shot at being like the next Optimus Prime voice, I think. But
I think so too.
but no, Peter Cullen, he's aging. You can tell, you can hear it. The voice is still there. You do still hear, Optimus, but he's starting to lose it. He's starting to,
which is it's so unfortunate. But yeah, I like I said, like you said, I was opening to seeing how if Chris Hemsworth was really good, maybe he could take over for the live action films possibly. But like since you bring it up that context, like he will be like a younger like Orion Pax type of voice. He's not gonna try and do the Optimus voice, and he's gonna transition into Peter Cullen. I was like, oh, okay, well,
yeah, it's a little disappointing. Also, Gary Chalk, that's his name. I forgot.
Gary Chalk, okay,
yeah, but
I think Gary Chalk could come in and take over as
he could. He totally could. Him or David Kaye, the guy who voiced Megatron in the Unicron trilogy and in Beast Wars.
I don't know about the one with the. Wait, you're talking about the anime or the Netflix one?
No, the anime. No.
Not the Netflix one. Please no.
No. Everyone from that cast needs to be fired. No.
Oh damn.
No. Specifically the Beast Wars cast. Well, Optimus Primal's voice can stay, but like everyone else, no. But no, he voiced Optimus Prime in Transformers Animated, and like he could even be an Optimus Prime, but
yeah, but we'll see how it goes. But like I don't know if Paramount's even like they're probably aware of it. They probably are aware of it at some point.
I feel like they're at least looking for prospects, because I mean, if they wouldn't make a movie Transformers 1 that initially has someone being Orion Pax that's not Peter Cullen, if they weren't at least thinking of possibly the next person to step up to be Optimus Prime.
Yeah, like no disrespect to Peter, but it's like I think somebody got to tell Peter to retire.
He can't voice him forever. And I know there's like voice AI, which is probably why we will never hear a new voice for Darth Vader if he's ever in like any other stuff, because they use AI for his voice. But I don't think you could do the same thing with Transformers. I genuinely don't think
they could do that?
No, I don't think they could. I know voice AI is getting there, and I know that you possibly could, but it just wouldn't feel right. It wouldn't,
Because I thought they
especially
did it really well with Vader in the Obi-Wan show.
they
I was like,
did, they did, it did go very well. But I don't think that that's something that the Transformers fan base would like, or what they would go with. You know, like a lot of people who have been a part of the fan base for a while, who have seen stuff like Transformers Armada and Transformers Animated, they've seen these other people step up to voice Optimus Prime. And though everyone loves Peter Cullen, they realize that there are other people that can fulfill that role.
true. I mean, I would rather them get a new actor and do it, but like
Hmm.
if they were thinking about doing like the AI thing, I wouldn't mind them doing it, honestly. Because like of how well they did it in the past, like, and I think
Yeah.
it could, it could feel like it could feel as natural when they're doing Optimus Prime, since he already has like kind of like a, he does have like a strong commanding voice, but at the same time, it does feel like it already kind of feels like an artificial voice at the same time. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'll say this. I think in the context of this continuity, let's say, God forbid, something happens to Peter and he can't voice the character anymore.
mhm,
If they decide to go the AI route for for the voice from then on, cool. That's fine. It's a part of that same continuity. I'd much rather that they did that. But in
mhm.
any other context, like they're starting a whole new continuity, a whole new series or something like that, you know, yeah, get someone else. Get someone else.
Yeah, but outside of the voice thing, I still thought Optimus was really good.
Yeah.
As you talked about earlier about his design, I I still think the Bumblebee one is probably that's the peak design live action wise.
Absolutely.
This is still really close for the most part. He looks similar to Bumblebee, but there are some enhancements or changes they did here and there. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in all honesty, I'm waiting for because they're releasing some model kits of these designs. I'm waiting to get my hands on that so I can actually like see it in front of me and like, okay, okay.
mhm. But yeah, like the change they did were, in the grand scheme of things, they were nitpicks. But I'm like, why they even need to change anything at all? Like like that was perfect. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, because like, I mean, the flaps on the windshields, like, I didn't mind that. That was fine. The stripes aren't like the white stripes aren't straight like they were in the Bumblebee. Like there was like a curve to them, which is like, okay, that's whatever. That's a nitpick.
Mm-hmm.
But like, there's not as much red on his torso.
Mm-hmm.
Like his lower torso is gray, but like his top torso and everything is red. I'm like, why'd you take the red off this stuff? And then um
Oh.
I don't know, like I'm trying to think what else was like,
I mean, they changed. It's a minor thing. They changed the
yeah,
color of his hands from blue to gray, which was like, I don't
okay,
know. I mean, like even some of the other character designs, like I mean, we'll talk about them, I'm sure, but like RC, they even changed her design. It's like, why'd you do that?
yeah,
It's fine,
yeah,
but why do that?
yeah, we talked about that. And then the infamous, we gotta give Optimus a mouth again. We gotta give him a mouth.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
They could have done worse with it. I like that they model it off of Peter Cullen,
yes,
but
that was a nice gesture they did. Yes.
yes, but I'm glad that they at least didn't do as much as I like the '07 design of Optimus.
Hmm.
That mouth was that mouth was no, man.
Yeah, that was kind of, well, actually, I didn't think that was the worst mouth that they had. I think, honestly, I think this one had the worst mouth. But like it, like I said, I like that they modeled it after Peter Cullen. But
Mhm.
like, I, the big nose and the
It was a little distracting. I
it was a
won't
little
lie, especially during that close up when he's like, "I'm kicking Scourge's key." It's like
yeah, I'm just
it's a
like,
little distracting.
got a big ass nose there, and then the mouth is
Right.
like, the mouth was kind of slightly less distinguishable than it was in the first three Michael Bay
Yeah,
films.
you know what I think it was for me? I think it was partially that the mouth felt a little too low on the face.
I see what you mean with that. That I do see
Yeah.
that with the first three Michael Bay films. Like his mouth was like way down here, and he like it looked like he had like a goatee too, a blue
Mhm.
goatee down
Mhm.
here. I was like, huh, that was interesting.
Mhm. I
Um,
mean, I think that was even the case with this one, where like I think his mouth was just a little too low.
a little too low, and then I couldn't. There were shots where I could tell where his chin meet his neck, but then there were other shots where I couldn't tell where his
Mhm.
chin was meeting his neck. So I was like, uh, I'm sure there's people watching be like, why are they breaking down this weird stuff? Right? Like I didn't even
Because
realize
I
that.
mean, it's because a lot. It's because most of the shots of Optimus, he has the mouth guard off. So like
Right.
like a lot of those shots are close-ups of him. So it's like it's in your face, and
It
like
yeah.
I like that it's Peter Cullen's face, but like yeah, no, there were some minor things where it's like the mouth is a little too low, chin's a little indistinguishable, but
Yeah, I'm just like, what is wrong with having Optimus have the mouth guard on the whole time? Do you
yeah, he
really
doesn't
need
need a mouth. He does not need a mouth.
he doesn't need a mouth. You didn't give Bumblebee a mouth. Like
Right. Bumblebee doesn't have a mouth. The original design for Mirage didn't have a mouth. Wheeljack normally doesn't have a mouth.
I'm just like what I don't know. I don't know. It's whatever. But like I'm more like I'm more concerned about like why is there not as much color on him? That's like the thing that I'm kind of worried
hmm
about. Like I'm hoping
hmm
if they continue with the franchise that they're not going to deviate more and more from the G1 design.
it did feel like there was a little bit of desaturation here when it came to colors. There with certain designs.
Yeah, once again, going back to they're trying to mix the Bay stuff and the Bumblebee stuff. They're trying to. It feels like it's leaning a little more towards the Bay. And it's like, oh, not as much color. There's still color, but like we're not gonna have it pop so hard like it did in Bumblebee. Where it's like, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with having the colors pop like it did in Bumblebee? It looked beautiful. They looked more interesting to look at. I
hmm
even said like in one of the streams, I think I remember saying that I was looking up randomly um fan art of the Michael Bay designs and they put the G1 colors on them and they look so much more appealing with the colors on them. So it's like don't deviate from that. Like
hmm
hopefully I'm sure Capel is not going to do that because like he actually likes the he actually likes the design of the Transformers. But like, yeah, that's just one thing I was worried about. These little things, I hope they don't add up. Let's move on. We've talked about Optimus for a while. Okay, Bumblebee. He's Bumblebee. Like that's like Lily. We could just move on, and that's all we could say with them. But
Yeah,
like,
he doesn't have much character and not much screen time either because they actually, kill him.
yeah, they do the Revenge of the Fallen thing where it's like he's dead for most of the movie, and then he comes back at the end. So it's like I almost forgot he was in the movie. To be
Oh,
honest.
same. I was thinking, because he was dead. I was thinking that they did like a Loki from Infinity War with us there, with the trailers. I was like, what the? Did they?
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, you're just gonna show Bumblebee getting stabbed?" And like, you didn't want. Why would you show that in the
Which,
trailer?
to be fair, they do want Mirage to kind of take over as that kid appeal character. Which, okay, that's cool. But
I mean, yeah, I'm fine with that. After
hmm
the, especially after how good he is in the movie, we'll talk about him in a minute. But
hmm
I I honestly I wish there was. This is probably just something that I would personally want to see. I don't think it is necessary to the story at hand, but like I wish we got like more scenes with Bumblebee where it's like he's reminiscing about Haley Steinfeld's character or
hmm
something like that.
hmm
Like they do acknowledge her when Optimus is like, I know that one human was good to you. Or
Yeah. Like I personally, I hope that in a future film, which with them doing what they did at the end of the film, I feel like there's potential for that being the thing that sparks their reunion through that. But
yeah, I'm hoping they're able to bring that's right, Charlie. I hope they
hmm
bring Charlie back somehow. Um but yeah, he's the classic Camaro again, and okay. I like that
yeah,
they gave him like they enhanced the Camaro thing a little bit giving them like
Made yeah, made it
spotlights and
made it kind of a muscle car.
kind of a muscle car. So I kind of like that. I mean, am I bummed that we couldn't get the Beetle? Yeah, a little bit, but at least it's not like a exotic sports car like it was in the later half of the Michael Bay films.
Yeah, he's not like a Ferrari or something, which I'll save that thought for Mirage. I
Well,
think-
let's actually get him. He's next.
okay,
Mirage.
okay, just getting that thought out of the way. I love that they that they made a subtle jab about him being a Formula One racer.
Yep. I saw that. Yeah, when he was transformed to the other type of vehicles. I was like, oh, they actually turned him into the race car. That's cool. That's cool. Okay, so now we're about to get like really nerdy with the Transformer stuff. So in the original cartoon, the Porsche Jazz actually transforms into a Porsche.
And that was a huge thing on social media for a while, where everyone was like, that's not Mirage, that's Jazz. But like,
I was one of them.
And I understand that, but at the same time, I'm sitting here like, well, we all thought that was Starscream and Bumblebee.
True. That is true. So, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. But as I said before, I had low expectations for Mirage, especially with Pete Davidson voicing him. I thought he was probably going to be like the most annoying character in the movie, but he ends up being the best character in the movie.
he was definitely the best character in the movie. Like, I actually, when they, because he died. When he died, that was actually sad. I was like, oh no.
Like, I actually cared. Like, it's actually a sad moment. I was like, wow. And like, Pete Davidson did a really good job voicing him.
Fantastic job.
Like, there were times where I actually forgot he was voicing him. Like, it didn't sound like typical Pete Davidson, And like the wit and his comedic timing actually worked in this movie. Like, a lot of time when I hear Pete Davidson's comedy, it's like it falls flat for me because he has that dry delivery and dry wit about him. But like, it didn't feel anything like his typical Pete Davidson stuff. It was like hitting really, really good. Like, it was hitting so much so it was making the other Autobots feel kind of generic in certain moments.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, with his whole rebellious personality and his like quick wits and everything, I'm like, that should have been Hot Rod. He should have been Hot Rod, and if Pete Davidson was voicing Hot Rod, oh my god, that would have been perfect.
Yeah, so like, that's the other thing where it's like they're mixing personalities and designs of certain Transformers. Like, oh, they actually should be being this character, but they're like that character. So it's like it is weird with that. Which I'm kind of wondering now, because I'm pretty sure they're thinking about bringing a proper Hot Rod into this rebooted franchise. I'm wondering how
if they've got Unicron like that, you gotta just bring in the whole 86 crew.
But I'm expecting it, but like, I'm halfway expecting them to have Hot Rod play it straight,
right?
Like, be the serious character. Like, I would not be shocked.
I'll be so mad.
Like, he's actually gonna feel like a Optimus Prime Jr. That's what I'm expecting to happen.
I mean, one other thing I was kind of upset about, and this is kind of just a nerdy thing, like from G1.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get a live action version of the G1 chemistry between Cliffjumper and Mirage, because Cliffjumper and Mirage like really have like a really cool like dynamic in G1, and Cliffjumper's dead. So
yeah, and there was like no mention of him in this.
Yeah, and like they can't rebuild him because his body's somewhere on like Mars or something. I don't know.
Right. So yeah, it's kind of a shame. I mean, they probably still could like bring up maybe slight hints that they had a friendship in the future installments.
Yeah, they could acknowledge him, but like I know Cliffjumper was just a throwaway character in the film. I'm sad about it because he's one of my favorites, but
yeah, he's treated like he's the red shirt of the Transformers
franchise. He is now, and that kind of sucks, but
it does suck. But yeah, I really liked Mirage in this. I like the the chemistry that he has with Noah as well. Like they play off
Yes.
each other really really well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I liked how he interacted with his little brother too.
Yeah,
I liked and I liked, you mentioned like the quick wit and everything. I loved the different jokes they had coming from him. Like,
yeah.
oh, he's my work friend. Work friend?
Boyfriend, I let you inside me. Oh my god, that there's some stuff that he says that literally caught me off guard like that. I
hmm
was like,
hmm
wow,
Even like parts where he's like imitating Optimus. I was like, that's hilarious.
that was so good.
Mirage, don't go doing that, Mirage.
Go
You
doing
can't.
that.
You got to stay in hiding, Mirage.
I'm like, I did not expect. I did not expect Pete Davidson to pull this stuff out.
hmm
It was so spot on. I was like, wow, man,
hmm
so
hmm
good. Um, but yeah, man. Moving on. Let us go to RC. Um, really liked her. I really liked
Yeah,
her.
yeah, I liked her. I feel like she could have done more in the film, but I liked her. I would have loved to see more of her.
Yeah.
I as much as I like her voice, right, and as much as I like her character's personality and everything,
Mhm.
and I like the design,
Mhm.
I wish that they would have stuck with the original, the Bumblebee movie design, and I wish they would have stuck with that actress because for the one line that she had, I think she did really good.
Yeah, that was literally straight out of the cartoon, like from
hmm
Bumblebee. Like that was how she looked, how she sounded. That was like literally like the
hmm
cartoon.
hmm
Um, now I didn't mind Liza Koshy's voice.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I
Um,
didn't mind it either. But
yeah, even though I could tell that was Liza Koshy, but like
hmm
it still, for the most part, it worked for this version of RC. Um, and yeah, I did wish she had more to do. Not like she was pointless. She did have stuff to do,
hmm
like but like as far as like her as a presence, it wasn't as much as like the other
yeah, I
Autobots.
mean, she was more prominent than Wheeljack, Cheetor, and Rhinox combined. But
True, true, true. Um, but yeah, like even though like this design still looked pretty close to the original cartoon,
yeah,
like
yeah, no, it was close. It was close. I think Bumblebee was closer, and
yeah,
and still took some of those creative liberties, and I do like the creative liberties they took here. But at the very
she's
least,
still very pink and white.
yeah, yeah, but at the very least, even though I don't get me wrong, loved
Mm,
the performance, loved the voice.
uh,
I kind of wish they would have stuck with that voice from Bumblebee.
fair enough.
That,
Fair
yeah.
enough. Yeah, yeah. And I'm glad that they kept her. They had her motorcycle in this. The pink
They
motorcycle.
redeemed the Bay Universe version.
They sure did. That was a disgrace, straight up disgrace. Um, now okay, so I, I don't know if you noticed that do you watch Liza Koshy on YouTube and stuff like that?
No, this is actually the first I've heard of her, and there was a fantastic first impression for that person for me. But
Okay, yeah, because she was a famous YouTuber, and now she does some she does some TV stuff now. Like
gotcha.
she would host a couple of like events, like she would host like New Year's Eve events in New York City, obviously. Um,
Seriously, wow,
yeah, yeah,
nice. Good for
she
her.
has stepped up a lot. I think she's producing
Good
some
for
shows
her.
stuff like that. So yeah, that's my girl Liza, and she does some comedy stuff here and there. Like her stuff is really funny on YouTube. You should look her up. She's pretty
Oh
funny.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, based on how she was delivering certain things in this movie, I was like, I kind of want to see more of this actress. She's funny. She's funny.
Hmm. But we were talking about how Capel was molding Optimus Prime's mouth after Peter Cullen. Um, if you look up a picture of Liza Koshy, like I don't know if anybody notices this or even like think this, but like I couldn't help but notice when I'm looking at RC's design, they gave her Liza Koshy's lips.
I'm looking at it right
Yeah,
now.
if you
Yeah, they
look it up,
definitely did.
they gave her Liza Koshy's
Oh,
lips.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
No, okay, no, I didn't know her by name. I'm looking at her. No, no, I know her. Yeah,
Oh, so
that's
you've seen her,
real.
you didn't know her name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good for her. Nice. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I thought she did a really good job. She is everywhere. Like I'm proud of her, man. I'm proud of her.
Yeah,
She's really good. But like I couldn't help but look at that when I saw RC's face. I'm like, did Cable really gave RC the Koshi lips?
yeah. Wait a minute. Now I need to look at Wheeljack. Hold up.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Yeah, Will Jack.
Oh wow. Okay. No, they did. They did. Not saying that the guy looks bad or anything, but no, I can tell they kind of they kind of modeled it after him, kind of.
Who voiced Will Jack?
Uh, Jamie, or sorry, no, Cristo Fernandez.
I don't know who that is.
I didn't until this movie either, but okay, I can see that they kind of did.
Hmm. I don't think I don't think Mirage was really designed after Pete Davidson. I didn't really see any Pete Davidson isms in his
I
face.
didn't. Well, the shape of the head, sure, but like,
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
guess.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like as far as other features, like I didn't really see a Pete Davidson face in there at all, or any features like that. Other than as you said, like the structure of the outside of his face, maybe. But like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Okay, so moving on. Let's talk about. Well, they call this character Wheeljack,
That's
but
Pablo, man.
it's Pablo.
That's Pablo.
Now, I was hoping that like there would be like a reason why he had such a drastic redesign from Bumblebee. Like maybe there was a story reason, but
Yeah, not just a drastic redesign, a drastically different voice. Like at least
yeah,
with like in like RC's case, you could see how that voice could make a transition, right? But like
yeah.
with Wheeljack, like what?
I I don't understand. And then once again, a thing that was annoying in the Michael Bay films is like when they take on these vehicle molds, they get these random accents, and then they bring it up in this movie. It's like,
Yeah,
why
which
does
is
Pablo have a Spanish accent?
yeah, which is really weird. Like I said earlier, that should have been a different character. I think that should have been Skids. Like
Yeah,
that
like
that
or
that would
it
have.
could be or it could be original Transformer. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
it could have
mind
been
that
someone
either.
completely original. They could have named him Pablo, and I would not have thought twice. But
Exactly. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, like I have a side to side comparison.
yes,
This is what Wheeljack is in Bumblebee. There was like one shot of him in Bumblebee, but like that literally
yes,
that was the Wheeljack design. That was
one shot,
perfect.
and he was voiced by Steve Bloom. Man, that was
Yep,
like
that was perfect. That was great. Now it went from that to to Pablo. What? What? Why does he have glasses? Why
yeah,
do
he has
robots have
glasses,
glasses?
and he adjusts them a bunch in the movie too. So what do you need those for?
I, I,
What do you,
I, we making it the
like
Donatello of
like
Transformers?
there are Transformers that need glasses, which is why
Are
yeah,
there?
okay. Yeah, there are in the comics mainly,
Oh,
which is why I said he probably should have been someone like Rung. Rung doesn't, Rung needs glasses. Rung is like someone who's more interested in like the world around him. Okay, cool. Wheeljack is not a character that like he's interested in the world around him, sure, if only for the sake of deconstructing it so he can figure out what he can make from it. Like that's
okay. I just like they. Why do they have to make a Donatello of Transformers, man? Like, I'm already annoyed that they're still putting glasses on Donatello. Like, oh, get it? He's the smart one. Ah,
right. He's a nerd. Look at him.
like I mean, and then on top of that, he has the least amount to do out of all the other Autobots. Like,
He like appears like towards the end of the second act, and then like has like maybe 3 minutes of screen time. Also, I couldn't take my eyes off of the fact that he has suspenders. I couldn't take my eyes off of that. I was trying. I couldn't.
no, why? I am sick of them putting these human features on Transformers. I know, like, there's certain things that were a thing from the original cartoon, the comics. Like, they give them. There's some Transformers that have facial hair. There's some Transformers that have
Which is
helmets and stuff like
fine.
that. Which, okay, I get it. I personally still don't like that. I didn't like that in the
Mhm.
original cartoon, the comics. and so I'm still annoyed of it here. But I do understand that is something that's actually a thing. I'm just like, why did you have to do it to Wheeljack specifically? What is so bad about having the original horns and like hit? Like, what is wrong with that design?
Yeah,
Why
like
do they keep
they
doing that?
gave him it for like a battle mask in like the final sequence, but like
Oh, and the horns that we saw that they put in the second trailer, we only saw that in one shot.
yeah, it was like one shot. You don't even see it in like the shot where like he's fighting like back to back with RC. It's
So like, what? I'm
and also you see like those little fins appear on his face, and you're like, what does that even do?
yeah. What does it even
What
do?
what that doesn't protect you at all. What is
I I don't understand. I don't
Yeah, and like I
understand.
wish he had more to do as like the scientist of the group. Like if he would have helped Elena with like decoding everything on like that big terminal, that would be perfect. That would have been like like my opinion of the character would have escalated dramatically at that point. But
Right. If he actually did stuff, like
yeah,
I probably wouldn't mind as much
yeah,
as they're making
yeah.
him a nerd.
Yeah, like he
But
shows up, gets hit by Rhinox, and then shows up in the final part of the battle.
that killed me too when like
Yeah, yeah,
Ronak
yeah. He's
just
like,
came out
hey,
of
hey,
nowhere.
hey,
Hey, hey, boom!
hey.
Whoa, okay. No respect.
Nope.
But yeah, so oh, speaking of Transformers that have like facial hair and everything, that jet thing, what was it?
Oh,
What was that plane called? I forgot.
Stratosphere,
Stratosphere.
the Scottish Transformer.
The Scottish Transformer with the mustache and a helmet. I was like,
Yeah. See, his design I was fine with. That one was one where I was like, okay, you know, there's human elements in it. It feels very Michael Bay when he's on screen, but like,
yeah.
I'm fine with that design. That's okay.
At least like he's not doing a bunch of like annoying humor and like
Yeah,
weird bodily stuff that we saw from
yeah.
the Michael Bay
He
films.
felt like a better version of the Bayverse Jetfire.
Yes, true, true. Um, okay, I guess now we could talk about the Maximals. Let us talk about. Let's start with Optimus Primal. Really,
Fantastic. I wish we would have seen the robot mode more.
yeah, like they're literally their maximized mode is literally like in a couple of
Yeah,
shots.
yeah.
And
That
it's like,
did.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
that.
never got a still. We never got like a still shot of them in the robot mode.
Yeah, and that did get me like a little giddy when he said
Maximize!
maximize. I was like, ah, he said
Yeah,
the thing.
that was so cool too. When they transformed to the robot modes, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah, let's fucking go,
yeah,
man.
yeah. No, I was pumped. I won't lie. I was pumped at that point. I wish we would have seen the robot modes more.
Yeah,
I wish we would have seen Air Razor's robot mode. But
yeah, I want to see Air Razor's robot mode too.
if you buy the toy, you can see it. But
I need to look at the toy. I
yeah.
never saw the toy,
It,
but
it's very faithful to the actual show, but you know you never see it. So
unfortunate, very unfortunate. I mean, they mostly stay in their animal modes in the show, right?
Not part. Well,
Or
kinda,
am I mixing that up with
kinda.
the
Well,
Dinobots?
no. Well, so like in Beast Machines, they mainly stay in the animal modes, and like towards the second part of Beast Wars, they stay mainly in the animal modes. But like in the first parts of the show, it's a lot more common for them to be in robot mode, walking around doing stuff and like shooting at things. But
Okay, fair enough. Um. Oh, but yeah, I really enjoyed Optimus Primal. Voiced by Ron Perlman. I'm
yes,
like, yeah.
yes,
I did not hear Ron Perlman. Like, I guess because like the modulating that they did with his voice like made him sound like more massive and stuff like that. So like I did not
Mhm.
hear Ron Perlman's voice, but like even though I thought he did a great job voicing Primal, like he sounded really cool and massive.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing him in future films too. Looking forward
Yeah.
to that.
I am too. Yeah, when like his action scenes were really good. Um, yeah, Loved how massive he was too. Like literally, he was just as big, if not a little bit bigger than Optimus Prime. I was like, yeah, look
Hmm.
at him, he's so
Hmm.
cool.
Which was funny because I did see a lot on social media. People were like, "They're not the actual size that they should be," because like the Maximals are supposed to be like human size. I guess as
Oh,
yeah, I guess
okay,
as the Cybertronian race progresses, they get smaller. But
huh, okay.
yeah,
Well, I'm glad they're not human sized. That would be
I'm
so
very
awkward.
glad about that too. That would have been very awkward in that first, opening sequence. Like, oh, I'm gonna slow you down, Scourge. Flick.
Yeah, that's so funny. That's so funny. But yeah, really, really good. Air Razor, really liked her. Voiced by Michelle Yeoh.
Yes,
She did her
yes,
thing. She did her thing. Loved
yes,
it.
yes. Really liked her. And I'm sad that we never got to see the robot mode, but I think she
Yeah.
she did she did really good. Like that character was really nice. I was sad to see that character exit stage right. Very very sad.
Yeah, I was hoping. I didn't expect for her to die. I thought she was
Well,
gonna survive.
so when I saw her like start to degrade a little bit, I thought that was a thing in the Transformers universe called cosmic rust. I thought that was like that disease eating away at her, and that we were just going to see her just turn into a pile of dust by the end of the movie. But
Nope, it was much more elaborate. Like
yeah, yeah, no, she got. They don't call it dark energon, but it's dark energon. It's the blood of Unicron. They she got affected with that.
mhm. So yeah, it made it even more tragic that like when she slowly started getting mind controlled by the Dark Energon, and then Optimus Primal had to kill her. I was like,
Which brutal death, by the way. Like they it like squeezed her to death. That was
squeezed her to death. I was like,
yeah. It was
and
like,
like
jeez.
it made it even more painful that like you saw in Primal's face that he didn't want to do it.
Oh
Like he
yeah,
did not want to do it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but Air Razor was just like, it's okay. It's okay. Do
Yep.
it.
And they did really good on the facial animations because you could see him like putting in the effort to squeeze harder.
Hmm.
And that just made it like even more brutal to me. It was just like you actually see him like, and it's like, whoa.
Oh. But it's like whatever what was their thing say? They said whatever it
No
takes,
matter the
no
cost.
matter the cost. I was like, see, this is why the Transformers need to be the main characters of their own movie.
Yeah. I'm like sitting here like, man, if this is what happened to Air Racer, I want to know what happened to the rest of the Maximals that came with them, man.
Exactly, and it's like, what you think these CGI constructs can't convey
Yeah.
emotion? Look
Like,
at that.
like honestly, that could have been a film all its own, just Beast Wars. Like
Honestly, yeah, I actually wouldn't mind just having like a standalone Beast Wars. We don't need to put the Autobots in here. Like they
yeah,
can have their own. They can have their own movie. Hopefully, maybe that will open a door where they can have their standalone movie.
yeah. I would love a prequel. I would love it.
That would be cool, especially because I wanted to know more about what was that other gorilla?
Oh,
Uh,
Ape Link? Yeah,
Ape Link.
yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to know more about him and like if there's other Maximals there that transform into different animals too. Like I would love to see a movie with that.
Yeah,
After
yeah.
this.
Which, I mean, it's also cool because Ape Link actually was not an original creation. That was actually someone that existed in the comics. So that was
Ooh, deep
yeah,
cut. Deep
yeah.
cut.
That was a deep cut. The second I like, because I heard something about like there being another Maximal that we didn't know the name of, and I was like, okay, I wonder who that is. Like I saw these pictures of an ape, and I was like, no, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I know it's
Hmm.
another ape, and I think it's Ape Link. I'm not gonna look to spoil myself. And the second they said Ape Link, I was like, oh my god, they did it. That's how I immediately knew. Like, okay, now the director loves the franchise.
Yes, yes. The director
Yeah,
knows his stuff.
yeah. Cable Jr. knows what he's doing. He knows deep cuts. He read the comics. All right, I see you. I see
Yes,
you.
yes. Good shit. Good shit there. Okay, moving on. I mean, unfortunately, there's not as much to say about the other two, like Rhinox and Cheetor. I liked both of them,
Yeah,
but like Cheetor was given like a couple of lines, and then
he
Rhinox
was.
didn't say anything.
I think he got like one line, but like I was hoping that we would see his robot mode more, and I was hoping that he would have the, legendary, infamous chain gun of doom that he has in Beast Wars, where he has like a chain gun with like 3 barrels, and he like lights up Waspinator in the show, and I was like, I really want to see that in this movie. I really want to see that. But
Oh,
he
we
had a
need
hammer. He had a
we need
hammer,
to
and I
have a
liked that.
hammer. Yeah, man. I want to see that in a movie. I want to see that
Yeah,
in one of these future
yeah.
films. Man, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome, and Cheetor was really cool too. I wish he had more. Like I said, earlier, like RC did more than Rhinox, Cheetor, and Wheeljack combined. I would have loved to see more of Rhinox and Cheetor in particular, because those were specifically Rhinox was my favorite character in Beast Wars. I would have loved to see more of him, but they're still alive, so there's opportunity to see more of them in future films. So
Right.
I'm hoping for that. I'm
Both
hoping
of
they
them.
don't just off-screen him or something like, oh, yeah, he died.
Yeah, or they just disappear for no reason, like the majority of the Dinobots in the last night.
Yeah, a majority of the Autobot cast throughout the Bay films.
Yeah, but yeah. Other than that, yeah, I really like the Maximals. Honestly, I wish that there was a fifth one so it could even out with the Autobots. But like,
I was hoping for someone like Rat Trap or Dinobot or something. I was hoping for that, but
they'll probably save the Dinobots for another for like a future thing. I feel like they're
yeah.
gonna try and redo the Dinobots at some point.
hmm
But like, what was the other one that you named?
Tigatron and Rat Trap, I think I mentioned, but
Tribertron and Rat. I would love to see a Tiger Maximal. That would be
yeah, he was really cool. He was very cool in the show. I was hoping to see him because I think there were toys of him that were released for the movie too. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Okay.
there were a lot of toys that were released of characters that people thought might be in the movie, but they weren't. Like they released a figure of Leo Convoy, which is uh, uh, basically an Optimus Prime that turns into a lion, and I was like, oh man, I hope we get to see that.
Ooh,
But
yeah. Did you just name the a rat
yeah, Rat Trap.
Maximal?
Yep,
There's
yep,
a
Rat
rat
Trap. Yeah,
Maximal.
yeah. He turns into a giant rat. He's very cowardly. His main thing that he says is "We're all gonna die," and he
Honestly,
was
I
he
could
was
see
like,
that being in a movie, like 'cause
yeah,
that fits in with like the humor that they try to do with this.
yeah, like Cheetor was the Bumblebee of the Maximals. Um, Rat Trap was, I guess, if you could really think of it, he was kind of the cliff jumper of the Maximals, but like not brash, instead cowardly. It was,
Mm,
yeah,
that's very interesting. Like this makes me want to see a Maximals movie even more. Like
yeah. No,
and what?
it would be cool to see something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess finally there we could all let's talk about it are the Terracons.
hmm
Scourge, who was voiced by Peter Dinklage. Like
Yeah, I didn't realize that until afterwards.
yeah, like did not hear Peter Dinklage's voice at all. Similar to Ron Perlman, like I think they did a bunch of modularization to his voice,
hmm
but like he did a great job voicing Scourge, and like Scourge is like one of the better villains of the Transformers franchise to me. Like,
Definitely. And I remember there was this huge theory going around where everyone was like, Scourge is going to be revealed to be the Bayverse Optimus, and like when they knocked his mask off in the
I saw
third
that.
act of the movie, I was like, oh man, I hope that they don't like
The show was like,
confirm that
it's
theory.
Optimus all along.
Right. Which, like, yeah, in certain continuities, Scourge is just a black Optimus, which
Oh, is he?
okay. Yeah. Like in Robots in Disguise 2001, he was in the Japanese version of the show, he was known as Black Convoy, which Convoy is what they call Optimus in Japan.
Hmm.
So
Oh, actually, that could be an interesting concept. That
yeah, he's kind of like another take on Nemesis Prime in some continuities. So
Mhm. See that not only could they fix the Unicron thing from the last night, but they could also fix the Nemesis Prime thing in this movie too if they wanted to. But either way, it's fine. They didn't have to make him like an anti Prime in this. He still was pretty cool. I don't know too much about like the Terracons. Like I don't know what makes them different from the Decepticons, but
So originally, the Terracons are actually the Decepticon faction in Beast Wars. So you have like that there. There's Beast Wars Megatron. Their Dinobot was originally a Terracon. There's Arachnid. Um, who else is there? I think they brought Ravage back as someone for them. They're the bad guys of the Beast Wars cartoon, but they obviously changed that faction around to be the Unicron faction for this film. So
right, they don't transform into animals like the Maximals do.
yeah, and like none of those characters that are on the Terracons team are originally Terracons. They're either originally Decepticons or they're like just factionless. Like Nightbird is originally completely factionless. She was in G1. She was just a creation that some human made to accompany the Transformers that ends up going bad. Battletrap is a D-list character from like the end of the G1 toy era who was originally a Duocon who turned into a helicopter and which is essentially a combiner of two Decepticons who turned into a helicopter and like a van. And like, so I mean, it was cool that they brought these characters back in the limelight and everything, but you know.
Oh yeah, that sounds very niche.
Oh yeah, no. Like when they showed Battletrap, that was a deep cut. That was like everyone was like Battletrap. Okay.
All right. Okay, so now that I understand the Terracons, then what are the Predacons though?
So Predacons are okay. So Predacons are a group of Decepticons from G1 who turn into Predaking. So it's kind of like the Constructicons, how they turn into Devastator. So it's a bunch of these animal Decepticons who turn into Predaking. And they all turn into like lions and other animal type. Yeah.
Okay, because like that was one of the things I kept hearing that they were going to put in this movie. They were going to put Terracons and Predacons. But
I was hearing that too.
But yeah, and then at first I assumed that the Scorponok army was like a certain faction of Predacons, but
and yes, and in some continuities they do consider them Predacons. So those probably were Predacons, but you know it's their version of it. So okay.
Yeah, so it's like interesting. But yeah, so yeah, not much to say about Battletrap and Nightbird. They're just lackeys to Scourge, and
Nightbird had more lines than Battletrap at least, and I liked her. They kept the same color scheme and somewhat general design that she had in G1, so I liked that. I liked that a lot. They kept one character trait that I didn't expect them to keep with Nightbird is that in the G1 cartoon she's a robot ninja. They kept that. They gave her like her swords and everything, which I like that. I like that. Battletrap, of course, was entirely different from how he is in G1. And I don't even think he has an on-screen appearance in G1. He's just in the comics, and he dies in the comics, and then he's a toy. That's so.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess that was their opportunity to just like retool him, repackage him into something else.
Oh yeah.
And even then, like, not much of an impression he was able to give, because like in the final fight, like, I mean, yeah, you see him blasting a bunch of stuff, but then when he's like, I'm waiting for a challenge, he gets dispatched really quickly.
I wanted to see more of that character because you see him fighting during the museum fight, and I'm like, that is an interesting fighting style. This man like uses his mace to like attach to things, and he flings it at like. I was like, I want to see more of this. What's up with that? And then final battle, he shows up, he blasts a few things, and then he gets his limbs taken off by Optimus, and then Primal smashes him in the head with a rock several times like a real monkey would. So
yeah, I was hoping it would be like more of a fight, like a 2-on-1 situation.
Yeah, no, he just got jumped. Yeah. he just got jumped. They took his J's and then they smashed his head.
So true. So true. Man. Um, but yeah, oh, other nitpicks that I have that like was kind of like, that's very very convenient. Well, first when they were getting the other half of the transport key and they had to go underground and like the because like the Maximals created this like secret underground thing where they're keeping they kept the key, and
Mhm.
then also when they were trying to shut down the portal for Unicron to come in, it also was like a little underground passageway that they both conveniently are the size
Yeah.
are like small enough for humans to go into.
Yeah, it's guarded by a bunch of vents that, and it's also like, I'm also sitting there like, this structure just generated. Why why did you need to generate it with the vents? Whatever. Anyways.
Yeah, I'm just like it's very convenient that you know
that,
where they have to go to, like the humans can perfectly go there, like you
yeah,
know.
that was one of those pacing issues I felt that was present. Like, it was like, all right, Scourge has the key, final battle now in this volcano, and it's like, well, huh? Like
eh,
like I feel like you could have maybe taken the battle somewhere else. Maybe you could have extended that a little bit, had the heroes just dreading, the inevitable for a little bit or something.
Oh,
Then
well,
maybe
you would
something
end it
happens.
on a dark note like that?
I mean, I either would have ended it on a cliffhanger there, or I would have just like had like a pause there for a little longer where like they're really just dreading the end or something, and then you
I
know.
don't think I would do a cliffhanger now. Like
Mm,
I think you would wait to build up the franchise a little bit more before they start doing cliffhangers.
mm.
This is not like a across the Spider-Verse situation where everyone is in like
Right,
instantly. But
right.
yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention those tiny little Terracon thing. They reminded me a lot of Frenzy. I don't know what those
Yeah,
are.
they did strike me as like a frenzy type almost there. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I thought those were cool. I guess chasing after the humans mostly, um, and oh, I forgot, forgot this one little detail that we saw in the trailer, and I was like, are they really? They're really about to do this, huh? They're about to give Noah a battle suit.
Yeah, so when everyone saw that in the trailers, including myself, I thought that was going to be like an exosuit from G1. I was like, oh, that's so cool, man. Like
Yeah,
they're actually doing that and everything. You see like the tail lights on his chest and everything. I was
yep,
thinking like, okay, it's obviously heavily influenced from Mirage. So what does he turn into, like a mini version of that car? Like
yeah.
what's up with that? It was cool how they had it in the show though. I hope that we see more of that in the future. And honestly, with what they did at the end, and considering that franchise has explored those kinds of suits before, I'm like, are they gonna use that as like a proto version of that? Like, what's?
A proto version of the transforming exosuits from the cartoon.
No, 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 from the other franchise that they show at the end, because that's also had.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
oh, oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like I'm gonna be real. I mean, even though
I mean, I'm feeling
will
like I'm feeling a reboot coming on, but
I hope it is a reboot. I hope they
hmm
don't try to continue from the other stuff.
hmm
But yeah, we will talk about that
yes,
in a
yes.
second. We will talk about that in a second. But yeah, I thought the suit was fine. It was cool. Um, you know, it. I thought it was gonna be absolutely stupid when I saw it in the trailer. I think that was the other thing I was kind of worried about. Like him getting like a suit from Mirage. I was just like, I mean, yes, I know that they had transforming exosuits in the original cartoon,
Yeah, I
but
mean, it was a dumb '80s idea. Yeah, but
that and it didn't even look like it was gonna be the transforming exosuit from the cartoon. So I was like, it just looked like a regular suit, that you shoot blasters with it. That's it. But like in the context of the movie, it worked a lot better.
hmm
But I'm not like, oh, this is so cool. Like it's just okay, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, it kind of makes more sense of how Noah's able to actually do anything in that final battle without getting killed.
yeah.
You
I'm
know?
also glad that they didn't give him that suit and then immediately he just like 1v1s and kills Scourge or something.
I would have hated that. I was expecting that.
I was half expecting that the second he started charging at Scourge. I was like, oh no.
It's like, no, you better
Oh
not
no
have him beat
no.
Scourge. That would have been so dumb.
Yeah, but then Optimus Prime came in and I was like, okay. Optimus is gonna get the kill. All right, cool. Fine.
Yes, that's fine. And then apparently his suit is so powerful that he's able to help pull Optimus to safety with his axe.
Right, which I get it. He has like that boost from like the suit. So okay, I'll buy into that.
Okay, it's whatever. And then he has like a rocket. He has like a rocket pack on his back or whatever. Like
that was where I was like, what's up with that? But
yeah, this we're starting to get the cheesy cartoon territory. But I was like, okay, it's whatever. It's whatever. But yeah, that was cool. And then yeah, you talked about the final blow with Optimus. That's where I was like, I was getting this is very getting back to the intense Bay fatalities from the from Optimus again.
Also very interesting that that Optimus carried his suicidal tendencies from Bayverse onto here, because immediately when the thing's like closing, he's like, I'm gonna sacrifice myself to destroy it. And he's like, Optimus?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and for a second, I thought they were legitimately gonna kill off Optimus.
For a second time.
Yeah, I was like, this is like the first real film in your new rebooted franchise, and you're gonna, no, what? You're not gonna do that.
Yeah. Please no. I would have been so upset. Like, I can't take Optimus dying a third time. Like, please stop doing that. But glad they did not do that. So glad. But yeah, Len, what did Optimus do to Scourge? He stabbed him in the face.
So no, he took off his arms.
Yeah,
and then he ripped the badge off of his shoulder, said, "This belongs to my friend. It's time to show you the power of a Prime," and then he stabs him through the head.
And then pulls his head off of his body with the spine attached. I was like,
in true Michael Bay Optimus fashion, just like what he did with Megatron.
Like, okay. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that looked at that and was like, yeah, Optimus doing a cool kill again. Yeah. And I'm like, does he need to be that brutal? Does he need to be that brutal? Like, we were just starting to get the peaceful warrior again.
I was glad that he at least didn't shout, "You die," and then kill him.
I mean,
they at least gave him a cool one-liner.
I mean, that's true. Like, he took the badge. I was like, "This belongs to a friend of mine. I'll show you the real power of a Prime." Which
he didn't shout something like, "Give me your face or you die." So
even though, like, he, as you said earlier, he did say like, "I'm gonna take his head." I was like, "Oh no, Optimus, no!"
Yeah, that was a point where I was like, Bay Optimus?
You feel the Bay Optimus trying to creep up every now and then. I was just like, but at least it's, once again, it's not distasteful like it was in the Bay films. So it's like, even though he did have, and I did appreciate they were trying to give him a little bit more of an arc in this, where it's like at first, like, we did talk about how angsty he was, but like, he never like crossed that line in the movie like he did with Age of Extinction. Like, by the time he turned around and like was being more open to working with the humans, so at least he did not cross that line. So I was like glad about that. Okay, I think now we could talk about that Ed Stinger there.
Oh man, I remember when that I thought they were trying to kill me in that movie theater seat. I remember turning to you.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? Whoa, wait, whoa,
right. No way.
Ain't no way. So at the end, they have Noah, doing another interview to get a job. I don't know where it was, like this warehouse or whatever.
It was like some warehouse, trying to get a security job like he did at the beginning of the movie, but he's obviously not going for protecting like, some big company. He's going for just protecting something small, which, okay,
It was good. And so the guy that's interviewing him slowly starts to talk about, like, he was asking about his job that he did recently, which
Mhm.
he's pretending his job was actually, helping the
Some
Transformers save the
international
world,
security thing, yeah.
international security thing. But then slowly the interviewer is like revealing that, like, he knows that he was
Yeah.
working with the
Yeah, yeah.
Transformers.
He's like, I'd love, and we'd love it if we worked with you, like your friends.
Yeah.
By the way, regardless of what you say, your brother's medical care will be completely paid for, as courtesy of a grateful nation. And I remember the whole time I'm turning to you, I'm like, oh, it's Sector 7.
Yeah, Sector
It's
Seven.
yeah,
So it's like, okay,
yeah.
this is what we're gonna set up. But oh wait, no, there's
Hmm.
more. So the interviewer gets up and then moves like one of the
Little photos or whatever,
photo
yeah.
things from the wall, and then it activates this activates the wall to separate like it's a door, and then it
Yeah.
leads to this giant
Yeah,
corridor.
I thought we were gonna see like Megatron frozen or something. I was like, "Is Project Iceman back
This
there?" Like,
Project
let's see.
Iceman right
Yeah,
there. You hold Megatron back there the whole
yeah.
time. This is like a whole operation, but like no, there's more to that. Oh, before he opens that wall thing, he casually
It
gives
slides him a little card.
little card there, and I was like, huh, I wonder what the
I was like,
card
it's
is.
gonna
I was
say
like,
Sector 7 on it.
let's
It's
say
gonna...
Sector Seven, like no. But then when he's looking out into the corridor and seeing like this big like sci-fi, I see this like sci-fi vehicle over there. I don't know what it was, whatever, but like whatever. But like when he was looking at the card, he flips it over,
Yeah, we
and then
saw that logo and it was like,
like
ooh.
G.I. Joe. I was like,
Yo,
what
I'm
the
I'm
heck?
I'm glad I'm glad that Noah said it. I'm glad that Noah said GI Joe because I was not believing my eyes.
Yeah, I was
And
like, I didn't
yeah,
even hear him saying it
and
because I was just like,
yeah.
what the?
Well, and apparently when they filmed it, I guess to keep the surprise, when they filmed it, the card did say Sector 7. So they changed it. And I'm like, that's nuts. That's like Darth Vader saying, "I am your father," levels of keeping the surprise for the cast. That's like
Yeah, man.
mhm.
So we're just gonna casually just put that there. So GI
Yeah.
Joe is in the
Yeah.
same universe as
Yeah,
Transformers.
now everyone's sitting there thinking like, okay, was the interviewer Duke? Like what's going on? Like, then a bunch of people are wondering, like, including myself, they're wondering, like, okay, they mentioned no, your brother was right, no real names over airwaves, and I'm like, okay, what's Noah's name gonna be? like,
Right,
like,
because
like
like
I'm sitting here like he's not gonna be Roadblock. That's no, he's definitely not Roadblock. Like I'm like going
that's
through
where I
GI Joe
instantly
names.
was. That's when I instantly started to look up, like, is there an actual person named Noah that has like a code name from GI Joe? Like, is he
Hmm.
possibly going to be that? And it's like I didn't find anything.
But he's probably going to end up being a prominent GI Joe character. And someone earlier said something that's interesting, though I don't think will play out. Shifty Gizm in the chat said like Charlie could be Baroness in the next film, and I'm like, that's an interesting thought. But
I would hate that.
yeah, I don't think that would work.
No, because
I think
first of
she
all,
could. Yeah, like I said earlier, I think that the GI Joe thing could be how Charlie and Bumblebee reunite. I think she could be a GI Joe character. Um,
yeah, but like I would not like them to like retroactively turn her into the Baroness. Because first of all, the Baroness is supposed to be she's Russian, isn't she? Um,
yeah,
yeah, and it's like no, and like we already had like an American Baroness in Rise of Cobra, so it's like no, I would rather them do authentic versions of the characters. Because man, after Snake Eyes, I was like, I was freaking done. I was
yeah,
freaking
yeah,
done, man.
yeah. Though I will say I could see Charlie being Scarlet.
I mean, they would have to dye her hair red, but
Yeah, her hair was reddish.
are you
It's
kidding
like
me?
it's
That
like a.
was brown.
I mean,
That
it
was
was
a
brown,
brown
but like in the
brunette.
sunlight, in the sunlight, it looked like a reddish brown. I think they could. I think they could make her Scarlet.
I mean, they were good. If they're thinking about making her Scarlet, I mean, I'll be okay with it. I mean, I would have to like get used to seeing Haley Steinfeld with red hair, but like
Hmm.
I don't know. I just don't want them to force anything, you know? Like I don't want them to force
Yeah.
these what we think like they're supposed to be like original human characters of Transformers, but then like, oh, they're actually these important characters from G.I.
Hmm.
Joe. I'm like,
Hmm.
I just don't want them to feel I don't want that to feel
Hmm.
like
I
artificial, you
mean,
know?
either way, like, because even the comics now, because Transformers just revealed who their new comic producer is. Even in the comics, they're doing the shared universe with Transformers and GI Joe. So,
Hmm.
like, I like that they're doing this Hasbro cinematic universe. It makes me wonder what else they're going to get involved. Like how far out they're going to get. Like, I'm sitting here, like, are we going to get like Thundercats or Masters of the Universe in here? Like, but
That would be nuts if they can get Thundercats and Masters of the Universe to fit like coherently with all
yeah,
these
I
different
mean, they've already like explored different races in far reaches of space because of Unicron. So like, I could see it happening, but like,
I wouldn't go any further than those four, though. I wouldn't go any
yeah,
further.
yeah, I wouldn't go any further than those. But well, okay. I will say I would like it if in like a future Transformers film, maybe one of the human characters is attending a gem concert. I would be fine with that. I would be totally fine with that.
Come on, Bigby. Come on.
I'm just being honest.
Do we really need Gem and the holograms in the Hasbro cinematic
Just as
universe?
a cameo. Just as a cameo. We don't need a movie. Just a cameo.
Yeah, because they already tried that. And we saw how that happened.
Yeah, no, we don't. No, we don't need a movie. Just a
Yeah.
cameo. But either
Cameo.
way,
Okay, fine.
yeah,
Cameo. Fine.
yeah. But like with GI Joe, I feel like it's gonna be a reboot. I don't think that they're gonna try to keep the continuity of the films that we already had. Because I mean, they probably see the writing on the wall. Like, yeah, no, those films aren't that good. Like the first live action one was all right. That's pretty much
First one
it.
was all right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, because I
Mhm.
did not like Retaliation
Mhm.
and I hated Snake
Like,
Eyes.
yeah, like I think Hollywood is finally starting to realize with like these beloved franchises that hey, those animated movies worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, just maybe, we should be a little more faithful to the source material.
Mm-hmm. Or they're even looking at what they did with Bumblebee in this movie. That people actually like that they lean more towards the original cartoon and comics.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should actually get people that actually like the source material, that actually understands the source material. So hopefully, whenever they decide to do the GI Joe reboot, that they actually get somebody that knows the cartoon, that knows the comics. You
I
know.
mean, it seems like Stephen Cable Jr. is going to be a big hand in planning this, and I have full faith in him. I'm convinced that he's probably also a GI Joe fan. So if he wants to head both of these projects in their combined like cinematic universe, go for it by all means.
Hmm. Yeah. If he's running the ship and then like if he's a fan of GI Joe, then
Hmm.
totally do
But
it.
please, I beg of you, get Travis Knight back on board. That man was a godsend.
Yeah,
Please.
I'm like trying to get him back somehow. Somehow, I'm
Yeah.
surprised they did not ask for him to come back. Like I don't know.
Hmm.
It's whatever. And then if if they go even further, if we do get a Masters of the Universe movie, and if they do Thundercats, hopefully they'll get people that understand those properties as well. But like that's
Hmm.
if they want to go that far. That's
Hmm.
if they want to go that far. I mean, I'm having a hard time racking my head around the Transformers GI Joe crossover. I know, as you said, that they did that in the comics, so
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. It's something that they do often in the comics, and it works. It works. If you ever get a chance, I suggest reading those comics because they do it really well. The crossovers there.
mhm,
So I have full faith that it can work in live action if they do GI Joe right. Because they're doing Transformers right now. They
mhm,
just they need to hit the right notes with GI Joe, and they haven't yet.
they haven't,
So
yeah,
I need them to lean a little bit more into the ridiculousness of things. Like bring back classic Cobra Commander. Just being just mustache twirlingly evil. Cobra retreat. Like, yeah, bring that back.
Oh
Bring
no!
that.
Don't have him do that corny voice like that. Like
I want the corny voice.
no. I actually like the scarier voice that they gave him in the first
Yeah,
two movies. I was like,
yeah.
that's fine. But I mean, we'll see how they execute it though. Just the characters, I mean, you could take some liberties here and there, but the main problem I have with those GI Joe movies is that the characters don't feel like the characters from the comic or the TV show. They take
That's
too
fair.
many liberties with that. Especially
That's fair.
Snake Eyes felt nothing like the Snake Eyes.
Man,
Like
yeah.
that was terrible.
I actually just recently watched that too. I was told repeatedly by everyone I talked to in like the past couple weeks, like, don't watch it, you'll hate it. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, it's just like that was textbook example of them not understanding G.I. Joe, not understanding the characters because they didn't understand what made Snake Eyes so great.
Yeah, they're
You know?
good at making it look good in marketing.
Sure, yes.
But follow through.
Follow through. You know?
For the love of God, follow through.
Please. So that's all I ask. You know, if they're gonna do G.I. Joe, just hopefully they get it right this time. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, like just tackle things one thing at a time. Like you know,
Yeah.
they did Transformers right. Now do G.I. Joe right. And if you're gonna involve other Hasbro stuff, cool. Just make sure you get the previous thing right first, though.
Yes. Slow wins the race.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, are we seeing another like possible rival cinematic universe to Marvel and DC?
I think Hasbro realizes that they own so many different brands that are loved by millions and billions of people that they're like, we can do this. We can rival Marvel. Which, honestly, if they do it right, they could.
Possibly. Man, between this and the Nintendo universe, man, like
there's this and then universe. You know, DC's rebooting its universe.
Yep. And Marvel pretty soon is not. It looks like, you know, he's not going to be the only only person in town. You know, I mean,
now I'm waiting.
Monsterverse is still going on too. Technically.
Yeah. Now I'm waiting for. Now I'm waiting for like the end of Sonic 3 to have like Vector Man or some other Sega character there.
Sega universe, man.
I'm waiting for it. I'm ready for it. I'm waiting for it.
Okay, no, that's a part of the video game universe that I'm not very familiar with. Like, really, like I'm mainly a Sonic guy. I haven't really played the other Sega stuff before.
If you ever get a chance, because those Genesis collections are out there, play them. It's a lot of good stuff there.
I'll definitely look up some stuff, and then I really. Look, I know Dark Universe failed. I know it did. But I want to see a classic Universal monster universe, man. I want to see it. Renfield was actually really good. I'm not expecting that to start a universe, but I'm just like, they can do some good stuff with the Universal monsters. I just hope that comes into fruition one day too. Like, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we get into a tirade about possible cinematic universes, is there any other things you want to mention before we start closing it out?
Not really. I mean, any like other critiques I have don't even pertain to the movie. It pertains to stuff around the movies. Like, the figures are hard to find. Hasbro, if you could just get back on like distributing those a little evenly, that'd be great. It's the only one I have is Optimus Prime, and I'm missing like 90% of the cast. So,
there's there's not a bunch of Rise of the Beast toys at
a lot of them that they have are like a lot more of like the gimmicky, like fun kids, you know, stuff. Like they have like the masks that turn into like robots or something like that. So.
Yeah, I'm sure you saw that like Optimus Prime like helmet that changes people's voice and stuff like that.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah,
I'm like, part of me is kind of curious to get that, but I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm tempted.
Yeah, I have wanted to cosplay as a Transformer, and I was thinking, oh, that helmet looks really nice. But then I have to figure out the rest of the costume though.
Yeah, they've done a few. They've done an Optimus, they've done a Megatron, and I think they're doing Soundwave now. So.
Oh, Soundwave would be awesome.
Yeah.
Love that. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention, because speaking of toys, which is actually, we thought they were going to tease him. In the movie.
Yeah, Megatron. Yeah.
Megatron. Like, yep, I guess that's his design now in this new rebooted universe.
Right. So maybe the next film.
Maybe the next film. Yeah. But like
I was
I
hoping that was
do.
going to be a post-credit scene, but
Yeah, me too. I mean, hey, I'm still happy we got GI Joe, but like,
mm-hmm.
yeah, but yeah, I'm fine with them like, you know, letting us miss Megatron for a little bit because we've used him so many times, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm glad that they
It's
didn't feel like they need to rely on him.
yeah, it's gonna feel that much better when we see him again.
Exactly. But yeah, closing thoughts now. Overall, I had a good time with this movie. I thought it was very good. It's definitely top 3 for Transformers films in general. This is definitely a step in the right direction for the franchise. It's leading more into the stuff that we actually want to see in Transformers. I thought Stephen Cable Jr. did a really good job directing this movie. And I am definitely looking forward to seeing how he's going to helm this rebooted franchise if they decide to keep him around. I'm pretty sure they will. Um, but yeah, I thought the Maximals were really interesting. I wish there was more development with them, but I thought they were really cool. I thought the Autobots for the most part were really good. Optimus was really good. Bumblebee was good as always. Mirage nearly stole the show. Pete
Mm-hmm.
Davidson really surprised me as Mirage. RC was good. Pablo was kind of disappointment, but it is what it is. Um,
Yeah.
the Terracons, I thought they were pretty cool. I thought Scourge was a really good villain. Them getting Unicron right, so glad they got Unicron right, and I'm looking forward to
About
seeing
time.
about damn time, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing how he's going to be handled in future installments if they decide to go even further with this. And man, the tease of a wider Hasbro universe with GI Joe that caught me off guard. It actually has me excited to see what they're going to do with GI Joe. Hopefully, they'll get it right this time. The next time they do it. But and I also like the human characters, Anthony Ramos and
Dominique Fishback.
Dominique Fishback. I thought they're once again the one of the better humans of the Transformers franchise. Did I feel like they still relied a little too much on the humans? Yeah, a little bit, but at least the human characters are handled a lot better in this. Because I feel like the time that they used with the humans could have been time that they could use to develop the Maximals more because the Maximals were so interesting. It's pretty clear that the Transformers are able to convey just as much emotion, if not more, than the humans. So please don't be afraid to have the Transformers be the main characters of their own movie next time around. Like, I mean, I know it's probably a money thing. It'll probably cost a lot of money for them to be on screen 90% of the time, but like, I think it's worth the investment. Make them the main characters, man. It's clear they can show so much range with these CGI characters. I don't know what else it's gonna take, but overall, I will give Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. I am between a B and a B plus. You know what? I'm gonna give it a B plus because I really liked it. I really liked it. And I acknowledge that as far as the structure and like the story, it may not be like the best. As I said, I still think Bumblebee is a more focused film. But as far as enjoyment from the live action films, I had the most fun with this movie. All right, go ahead, Bigby.
Yeah, I enjoyed my time watching this film. Everything around it. I think they got, the designs are really good. There's certain, well, for the most part, anyways. Pablo is a different story, but that I do think some of the designs look better in the Bumblebee movie. But for the most part, I think they got things right. Characters' personalities were a nice mix between Bayverse and this kind of like more G1 take, which where applicable, anyways. The effects were really good. The human characters were actually likable, which I'm hoping is a consistent thing. The tease of a wider Hasbro universe, like you said, did catch me off guard as well. I'm looking forward to it, and yes, I am hoping they get G.I. Joe right. The pacing, though, was a little bit off. It did feel like there was a longer movie originally, and they cut it short for whatever reason.
Release the cable cut.
I know. I'm waiting for the cable cut.
Yeah.
And besides that, I mean, not really much else I can say. You know, characters were great. The people who played them were great. Some of them I wish I would have seen more of. Some of them I wish would have seen less of. Pablo, but you know, I liked it overall. I enjoyed myself. I think it's top 3 for me. I enjoyed Bumblebee and the animated film more, so I am gonna give this one overall a B. But no, I liked it. I strongly recommend watching that film. You know, if you get the chance, or you know, if you decide to get it on, you know, digital in like a couple weeks here, but you know, definitely watch it. It's worth the watch. It's worth a couple watches just so you can really soak everything in. But,
For sure, for sure. Well, that is our thoughts on Transformers Rise of the Beast. Tell us, what did you guys think about it? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? How does it compare to the other Transformers movies? Are you looking forward to what they do with the future of the Transformers franchise and or the Hasbro franchise, the G.I. Joe and everything like that? Comment your thoughts down below and let us know. Well, that is the conclusion of Transformers Tuesday. The next time around, when we revisit Transformers Tuesday, will be when they eventually release the animated prequel Transformers One. Yeah, looking forward to seeing how they handle that one. Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah. If you guys enjoyed this stream, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the bell if you want to be notified on future videos I'll be doing. So, as we conclude Transformers Tuesday, we will start to get into Turtles Thursday, where we will talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, talk about every theatrical release of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles leading up to Mutant Mayhem coming out in August. And then The Flash is coming out this weekend, so I will give you guys my spoiler review of that. And that's what's coming down the pipeline. And of course, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny coming out in a couple weeks. So we'll go see that, and then we'll eventually give you our thoughts on that as well. You can go ahead and plug your stuff, Big Bay.
As always, you can definitely find me at Red, White, and Blue Streak. I do figure reviews. Just released one today, actually, and working on the one for Rise of the Beast Optimus. So, you know, definitely drop by, say hi, maybe get a laugh or two, take a look at different figures and everything. Just have a good time. Yeah.
Yes, subscribe to his channels, man. He has some really good content on there. You like toys, you like other nerdy stuff he likes to talk about, go and check out his channel. But that is all we have for you Transformers fans, and we will see you guys next time. Talk to you guys later. Autobots, Maximals, roll out and maximize!